From behind, 3-set win over Alina Svitolina. Tournament coverage continuing on ESPN.
Hey, it's Courtney Cronin coming up on Monday on Unsportsmanlike. Week 1 of the NFL season is upon us, but which team still has the biggest question marks before they kick off? It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Who is this guy? Aaron Shafting? What is it? Oh, Schachter? Schachter. Okay. Shack Attack. Schachter. He gets shacked. But I digress. Here we go.
You ready? Yeah. Turn up your radio.
The Aaron Schachter Show on ESPN 690.
How y'all doing? Welcome. It's the Aaron Schachter Show. Friday edition on a Friday? Mayhaps. Could throw you a curveball. Could do a Tuesday edition on a Friday. Talk about all the wonderful things that are coming up this week. That would screw everybody right up. That's how we play it sometimes on the Aaron Schachter Show. My name is Aaron Schachter. I'm the frustratingly annoying one. Brian Middleton behind the glass, pressing the buttons, doing the calculations. He's got all kinds of pieces of scrap paper with numbers on them, doing all kinds of math, like he actually used the scientific calculator in that room.
TI-88.
Love the work this man does. And by the way, nice color scheme you got going today.
Oh, as opposed to other days.
I like that color on you.
As opposed to other days.
Yeah, literally. You dress like garbage other days. But today you look great.
Oh, you know.
All right.
I don't look as great as somebody who is 30 pounds down, my boy.
Hey, we're not 30 pounds yet. We got 0.9 pounds to go. We're so close.
Yeah, you are.
So close. I'll be checking that scale multiple times a day. I will literally get up. I'll go to the bathroom. I'll weigh myself. And then like 20, 30 minutes later, I may make a second trip to the bathroom for other business.
Okay, little smooth move.
But then you got to get back on the scale. You go, how many pounds did I just drop? You know, it's confusing sometimes. You go drop some weight, you come back to the scale, and you weigh more.
Yeah, man.
I was like, wait, what?
You're thinking about it. At that point, you're thinking about it too much.
How does that happen?
I don't know, but you're thinking about it too much.
I let go of literal weight, then I come back with weight added. That math doesn't math. Very confusing to me. But, as I just pointed out, we're almost there, Brian. Almost there. I'm past the halfway point of my goal. My goal was 50 pounds. We're at 29.1 and quickly gaining steam. So very happy with the results. Clearly, I look good, don't I? Tell me, Brian.
Hey, man, listen.
Say it.
You know, whenever I'm like, yo, turn sideways, you go missing.
There it is.
You go missing.
I appreciate that, man.
That boy's going to be in a medium soon. That boy said, with 2 extra large. Get them X's. Only time I need to see an X is when we talking about my chromosome.
Let's make a pit stop at the larges, though, okay? I was a mediums. I don't know. I see some guys in mediums. I'm like, maybe they should hit the gym.
You definitely shouldn't have had lunch if you were going to put that medium on.
You know what I mean?
You definitely shouldn't have had lunch like the last 6 months.
Yeah.
Well,
in any case, that's the weight loss journey. But that is not what's ahead on the show today.
Okay.
We have a very cool show today. Had my friend Ducky Bets reach out to me earlier this week. He's like, hey, man, football season's here. Are we talking money or what? I'm like, of course. Let's get Duck in here. Ducky Bets joining the show in the 4 o'clock hour to talk NFL futures betting. And then the three of us, I think, will run down the AFC South, do a little prediction action. Maybe I'll even place a wager on your behalf, Brian. I'll do a Brian bet and an Aaron bet. And we'll see what comes in. I like that.
Yeah.
I'll keep like a little percentage.
Okay.
I'll be like your middleman. Is that a job, an official job? No?
Middleman?
Yeah.
I don't know. Consigliere. Is there is a middleman a job title?
Maybe.
I think it is. Middle management.
Well,
You're middle management, aren't you?
Used to be. I'm actually lower than middle management now.
That's probably safer.
Yeah. That's how you stay off the radar, my friend.
Oh.
It's one thing I learned after 21 years of staying off the radar.
Smart. Aaron Schachter. Thank you.
You got it. It sounded very urgent.
I texted you earlier
Okay.
Who could have imagined when we started this show?
All right.
Who could have imagined when we picked up ESPN 690 8 years ago, 6 years ago, whenever they
Is it
finally.
that long ago?
I don't know when they started. I'd be real, I wasn't here. Wow. So I have no idea. But I clearly was in Arizona, so it was at least 6 years ago.
Let's see. We're in 2024. 6 would put us at 18. I think it was 7.
Okay. So my point is this. Who would have thunk in 2017 when we said, you know what we want to do? Get those 4 letters that precede 690. That we were going to talk WNBA forever. It's going to be a short moment, but 2 days in a row. Who would have thunk it?
You really did send this to me.
Now, yesterday was a happy story.
Yeah, it was. It was a happy WNBA story.
Because one of my future baby's mother's T-shirts is on the way.
You better get cracking soon, buddy. You're running out of time.
Okay? But today,
To this day.
I'm not going to dignify
You don't have to.
your colleague's story that they released at ESPN.com.
This is what you texted me this morning. You wanted to talk about this WNBA news today.
No, I just wanted to.
I was like, Brian, we got stuff. We got stuff
to
to talk about. We got UF Miami to talk about. We got Ducky Bets and NFL futures. I got the Hell Naw story of the day. We got Jaguars recap and audio. I got Nick Wright singing the praises of the team. You're like, no. Today, we're talking WNBA.
Just as one headline.
All right.
Apparently, your colleagues.
My colleagues. You're
Bristol,
talking about the folks at
New York.
ESPN. Bristol's not New York.
I know. Bristol, New York, L.A. Maybe they're working remotely.
Dallas, Chicago.
Maybe wherever they're at. They got together and said, how can we get clicks?
You think this is clickbait?
This is some of your people right down the hallway. How can we get clicks? Do they have a content meeting or something like that? Probably so.
So Brian this morning sends me a text with a link at 8:42 a.m.
Yeah.
Both of us at that point up for 12 hours or so.
Maybe.
WNBA rookie rankings.
Which I didn't know was a thing also.
And I did check the stats. After I clicked in, there were 3 total clicks on the page. Me, you, and one of these players probably clicked in there as well.
You'd be like, really?
But you were very upset. Why were you so upset?
Listen, man. Why are we playing this game?
This is what you said.
Caitlin Clark is. Yeah, go ahead.
You said, this is dumb. They going to make me cut up about this.
Cut up about it.
Your company really doesn't believe this.
They don't. You know what I'm thinking, Aaron? I'm thinking they got together. Mm-hmm. I don't know what they call it on the radio side. I assume it's the same thing. But on the television side, at least locally, they get together and they do these editorials. That's what they call it. I was like, oh, this sounds very formal or whatnot. But they sit around this big table, right, in a room right off the newsroom, and they sit around and talk about what stories are out there, who's going where. They assign stuff, what's really going to hit, and they got everything up on the board for the different time periods that they're going to drop in which newscasts, and let's pitch ideas, all this good stuff. I'm assuming that they got together and said, we know that Caitlin Clark is the reason why the WNBA is where it's at this year.
You believe that? You believe it's the only reason why there's so much increased attention?
It is the main reason. I'm a South Carolina Gamecock fan. And the one thing we've done well consistently over the past decade is women's basketball. So I know a bit more about the WNBA because a lot of the players from South Carolina go there.
Fair enough.
Aja Wilson is a beast.
Yeah.
She's a GOAT right now out there in Vegas. I've been on Aaliyah Boston, Caitlin Clark's teammate. I've been on that. I get it. But listen to me.
All right.
I promise you, if Caitlin Clark was not who she was in Iowa coming into this season, it wouldn't be the same.
You don't think Angel Reese has anything to do with it? Or at least their rivalry?
In a way that I'm not comfortable still trying to have a career that takes off and being truthful about right now.
Okay.
I think she does, but I think that it's a little bit different. And if I went into that,
broke the rookie record for double-doubles in a season.
And listen, congratulations to her. There's some philosophies on why that happens often. And honestly, I don't know if she's the best big on the team.
Oh, wow.
But again, I'm biased because Cardoso, you know what I mean? Like that's
your girl.
So, I'm gonna be like that. But for this article to come out,
hold on. Do you think on top of Caitlin Clark's abilities and Angel Reese's abilities, do you think their rivalry has brought more attention to the WNBA?
Yeah, sure.
On top of that rivalry, do you think the way that Caitlin Clark is pretty much catching elbows to the face every night is bringing more attention to the WNBA.
I think in the first half of the season, you sure? But after the Olympics, she cooking people now. Now the gap that many who said that she would have to try to trek through for, her rookie season and it's not the same as playing, as Diana Taurasi said, it's not the same as playing 18-year-olds. Like, we get that. There would be a bit more struggle. It looks like that struggle
is over.
Is almost about to be over with. I'm not saying that they're not better players.
I think she just broke the record for 3-pointers in a season by a rookie the other night. Or is it 3-pointers in a season period? I got to double check that.
Yeah.
What happened?
Sorry, I can't.
It sounds like you're distracted.
I'm not saying that one. If I'm not going to say the other thing, I'm not going to read that out loud.
You caught a note.
Yeah, I think there's a couple, but it might just be enough to count on one hand.
Got
I will say this though, Aaron, this article right here, I think that it had the intended purpose that I'm exhibiting right now.
Clickbait and anger.
There's enough people that might believe that, but the people who made the decision, they greenlit this, they posted this, and they have their reasoning in there, but they do so much gymnastics. They go so far into the analytics.
No, we still haven't said what you're mad about.
That Angel Reese is ranked ahead of Caitlin Clark in these rankings.
So they've got Angel Reese as the number 1 WNBA rookie in the power ranking, and Caitlin Clark is number 2.
And they use these stats, Aaron, and I'll leave it alone here. They use these stats where, okay, I understand that you can use numbers to manipulate anything that you want. I'm not saying that they're going so far-fetched that it's just completely impossible to put Angel Reese in the same year. You name the double-doubles, that's hard to do. Regardless of how you get there, it is hard to do. So kudos to her on that, and I think she is a talent for the WNBA. There's a rivalry there. But what Caitlin Clark has done, the fever with Aaliyah Boston last year as the number 1 overall pick.
Yep.
My dog out of South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
They were trash. They were trash the year before. They were trash the year before that. They were trash the year before that. I'm telling you, Caitlin Clark, what she's done, especially post-Olympics, is criminal. Do you hear me? To have that ranking that way, even if it's just for clickbait.
This is wild. This is the first time in my life I've seen a genuine WNBA fan in the wild.
There you go. Look at you. Well, now hold on. Now
Okay.
let's not get out of pocket. I ain't say fan.
Oh, you're sitting here naming names and teams.
I'm a fan of some of the players,
right?
For sure, and they have sparked more interest than they have done in past years with me.
Did you see the WNBA is catching some flack right now for some of these marketing campaigns they're doing? You have some of the female athletes showing off a little bit of leg, a little bit of torso, a little bit of upper body. And so critics are like, hey, weren't you telling me that these girls are the athletes and that we don't have to sexually objectify everybody? And then you're throwing out an ad for WNBA tickets with a girl in a miniskirt? Like, how's that work?
Again, I'm just trying. Listen, I might be making a little bit of traction in my career. I can't. I wish I could. In the break, I'll share more about.
No comment is what you're saying? No comment?
Yeah, next question.
Next question.
What do you think, Aaron? What do you think from that? You're established.
Brian, let me ask you a really important follow-up here as a member of the media here in Jacksonville.
Yeah, we can move on.
When you read that article, was it cool? That's basically the follow-ups we get at the stadium as far as we're concerned. Yeah.
What do you think about the depth chart of that article?
I think it's etched in sand. Hey, we're not the only ones talking Well, we're the only ones talking WNBA right now.
Yeah, absolutely. People turn
We're
away.
not the only ones talking Jaguars, and not just here in town, but outside of town as well. One Nick Wright, who normally gushes over Prince Willie and the rest of the boys in teal and black, is out there predicting the AFC South. A lot of people now putting their predictions for the different divisions and conferences. We're going to be doing so with Ducky Bets a little later today. And I thought I'd pull this Nick Wright audio, number one, because he's talking about the AFC South, but number two, because normally he's a Jags homer. Let's see if that's moved for him. He begins at the bottom of the AFC South with a team you might expect to see there.
In fourth place, I have the Tennessee Titans. I don't love Will Levis. I really like all the other quarterbacks in this division. I hate that they fired Vrabel. To me, they're an easy fourth place. Sorry, good folks in Nashville.
Thoughts on the assessment? I'm with him the whole way. Do I think Will Levis is going to be a great quarterback in this league? I kind of don't. Like, I get he's got talent and skill and he can throw the ball very far, but I'm not bought in on Will Levis being the guy.
Not great like, I hate to do this, not great like Patrick Mahomes. Hold on, back up. Not great like Josh Allen or not great like Dak Prescott?
I think Will Levis will be one of the bottom tier quarterbacks in this league.
Okay, wow.
For his career as a starter.
Wow.
I think he's got ability, right? We've seen him rocket the ball down the field.
Okay.
We haven't seen him consistently be a good passer in the NFL. And so maybe Calvin Ridley helps that. Calvin Ridley likes to go long. Will Levis likes to go long. But an aging wide receiver crew and, a bad offensive line, I just don't see him overcoming that.
I didn't word that right because it sounded like I said both Josh Allen and Dak Prescott aren't great. I meant like, do you think that he can't reach Josh Allen's level or he can't reach Dak Prescott's level?
I don't. That's not what I believe in Will Levis. Now, he might, and I might look stupid. It wouldn't be the first time. I'm just saying that's not what I believe.
Yeah.
Not what I believe. I hate that they let go of Vrabel. I hate it too. Now, despite that, people have rave reviews on Callahan, and he did bring in his dad, who's essentially one of the best offensive line coaches in the history of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it works out. But Vrabel, how do you walk away from Vrabel? I don't get it. I still don't get it. Coach of the year a couple of years back, suddenly he's yesterday's tomatoes. I don't get it. I'm with them. Titans in fourth. You got a beef with it?
No.
All right, moving on.
Now to number 3, and this was one of my hardest postseason admissions. The Indianapolis Colts. I love the head coach. I think he made Jalen Hurts look like a superstar for the season with him. I think you were a pass away from making the playoffs with Wilds guy Gardner Minshew. Yeah. I'm very intrigued by Anthony Richardson. I love the upside and the measurables. And I think they have an excellent offensive line and defensive line. But I question their secondary. I don't love the wide receivers and their back seven of their defense as a whole. And Anthony Richardson, he played 4 games, got hurt in 2 of them. So I can't put him in the postseason. I think the AFC South is tougher than people thought. So I have them third. Bruce, surprised by that.
So that's the Colts in third. Now, Nick likes Shane Steichen. Shane Steichen's got a lot of positive press around him. Mm-hmm. Another guy I'm not sold on. It seemed positive, right? Last year, first-year coach, does really great, like supersedes expectations.
Yeah.
But we don't necessarily know if that's Shane Steichen or some other factors. We want to see him do it again. And you want to see him do it with the quarterback they picked. So I don't understand how anyone can give the Colts any credit for being good this year without knowing if Anthony Richardson can complete an NFL pass. Look, you're laughing. Brian, he threw 65 before he left the college. He does not have the passes under his belt. He does not have the reps. He's a beast of a man, gigantic human being, super fast, very powerful. But we don't know. We just don't know if he can hit these passes on these timing routes. And quite frankly, when Steichen was on the Eagles and he made Jalen Hurts look great, he also had a legendary offensive line out there doing a lot of that work. That is not what they have on the Colts, despite having 1 or 2 really good offensive linemen. Eagles also had a historic defense, keeping the other team off the field, allowing the Eagles to control possession, which makes it a lot easier to do the RPO thing. That's not necessarily what you have with the Colts. There are question marks on that team. I actually think the team's going to be a lot worse than people think. I think they will challenge the Titans for bottom dwelling. I think Gardner Minshew meant a lot more than people are willing to admit.
I'm about to say, you're saying Gardner was worth 4 or 5 wins, it sounds like.
I think he was.
Okay. Look at you.
I don't see a world in which the Titans start Anthony Richardson last year and they win 8 or 9 games. Gardner's proven he could do it on multiple teams. You're going to see him do it on the Raiders this year. With what? Nothing on offense. 2 tight ends as soon as they trade Devonta Adams.
Oh, I'm like the guy that you're hoping goes to the Jets.
Give it 2 weeks. Give it 2 weeks. He's gone. He's already gone.
Okay.
They got Bowers and they got Meyer.
No, don't just shrug those 2 names off as well. You just named 3 guys who I'm just like, okay, if I'm a quarterback, okay, I'll take that.
Meyer hasn't eclipsed like 800 yards, so that's not someone you want to count on. And Brock Bowers hasn't played an NFL down. So maybe it works out for them, but you don't know. You don't know.
Okay. You don't know.
Here's what I know. I know Gardner Minshew is still going to go off for 3,500 yards. He's probably going to throw 20 interceptions and 30 touchdowns, and they'll squeak into the playoffs on the Raiders.
I don't know that then. If we're going off your logic, I don't know that. Another new offense that he hasn't seen. Mm-hmm. He hasn't played with these guys.
You mean like the
in
Colts?
In an NFL game?
You mean like he did with the Eagles when he won the games he was in for?
Right.
Yeah.
But not the Raiders, right?
Well, like he did with the Colts when he won the games he was in
You're
for.
right, but not with the Raiders, right?
He will this year. He'll prove you wrong.
Oh, but we don't know.
Let's move on to Nick Wright's number 2 team.
I thought you were having him in the playoffs.
Like I said, it's my
As soon as they're done discussing the Colts.
hardest omission. At number 2,
Of course.
the Jacksonville Jaguars. 8-3. Yeah, Greg's surprised. He thought I'd have them winning it. No. I'm trying to be right, guys. I'm putting real hard-earned shekels
Looking like
on
a
this
lot
stuff.
of chalk to
Hey,
me.
well, you know what? I'm able to go a little chalk in this division because I took my big swings earlier, Drew. 8-3 until Trevor's injury. Wild's anti-guy, Doug Peterson, coaching for his job. Doug Peterson has won double-digit games in how many games in his career? Anybody? One. The time they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That is a sneaky statistic. Didn't really think about that about Doug, because I have a very high opinion of Doug Peterson and his ability to coach the NFL. One season with double-digit wins. It's a little bit eye-opening.
This is season number 2. They get to 10 wins. Just avoid the rain. I was scouring the Farmer's Almanac to see what it's like in their outdoor games. Those games in England, a little tough, but that is England.
I feel like the Jags have had a perfect amount of luck in England, regardless of the weather. Dominating over there.
And I am interested, while I'm not a big Gabe Davis guy, I do like Brian Thomas theoretically, and so we'll see what that's like. And then at number 1 is the
How do you like someone theoretically?
Oh, because he doesn't know. But I feel it, but
Either you like him or you don't. You like the idea. Oh, my goodness. Can you give her a microphone if she's going to talk?
she said she wasn't even coming in. The mic's ready for her. It's up on the board.
Yeah. Go ahead, Brian.
No, you were making a good point.
You were disagreeing with it. I'm curious what you were going to say.
No, I was just saying theoretically because he's saying that I guess he hasn't touched the field in a regular season game yet. So
I get why you don't want to say I like him because you could be wrong, but either you like him or you don't. But there's Nick Wright on the Jaguars. They're second place. He thinks 10 wins, which means he thinks that the Texans are going to have 11 wins or more and win the division. But he has the Jaguars making the playoffs as far as his prediction. And that brings me to the 3rd episode of the 5th season of The Hunt, which is the Jacksonville Jaguars Hard Knocks ripoff.
Okay.
That's what it is.
All right.
All the teams are doing it now. They're not alone, but it is. It didn't exist before Hard Knocks, and they could thank Hard Knocks for the inspiration. But I'm calling out to season 5, episode 3, this episode that was just released yesterday, because it had a very interesting scene in it that has to do with what we're talking about. Shad Khan visiting the team early on in training camp, down in one of the classrooms, addressing the team, wants to tell the team his expectations for the upcoming football season. Shad leaves no doubt about what his expectation for the Jaguars is.
Obviously, quickly turned to football, and I was quoted, for us, winning now is expectation. So really, I've been looking forward to tonight to set the record straight. I was not misquoted. And let me just repeat, winning now is the expectation. Make no mistake, this is the best team assembled by the Jacksonville Jaguars ever. Best players, best coaches, but most importantly, let's prove it by winning now.
A couple of thoughts here. Couple of thoughts.
You start. Yeah, let me hear this.
Number 1, winning now is the expectation is not as specific as I think Shad thinks it is. And the boys can win 9-10 games like Nick Wright is predicting, maybe make the first round of the playoffs and lose. And I'm sitting here going, yeah, it's cool to be back in the playoffs. That feels a little disappointing to me. A little disappointing to me.
Mm-hmm.
You went past the first round last time around. You had an epic collapse last year. You're sitting there telling me it's the best team in Jaguars history. Maybe it's worth more than 9 wins and a first-round loss. So I don't understand what exactly that means, winning now. I get it means we can't be a losing team. What's the penalty? He's not going to say that in the meeting.
Yeah, I was like, with that
but
music
Doug's
in the
job
background.
could be on the line. You know, we were talking about a couple of weeks ago. I definitely think Press Taylor's job is on the line.
Yeah.
But Doug's job could be on the line. We don't know. Number 2, Best team in Jaguars franchise history. Not setting a high bar there. You got to go back to the 90s to compete with it.
Yeah.
Come on. We're not talking about the Bears or the Giants with 100-plus years of history here.
I took it as he meant since he's taken over as owner.
I don't think that's what he meant.
You think he meant since 95, huh?
I think he means since the inception of the team.
Wow.
This is the best and most skilled team we've ever had.
Brunell and Boselli on lines 2 and 3.
Up for debate.
Wanted to chime in real quick.
Up for debate. I think the talent is spread out much more evenly on this team than that team. It's up for debate.
Well, Jimmy Smith is on the line, too. Oh, okay. He wants to chime in, Mr. Khan.
Tell him he's accidentally called the wrong show, and he'll hang up the phone. Last thing in the quote. Last thing. Listen to the end of this, where I feel Shad Khan is trying to rally the troops. He's doing that thing that orators, speakers do. They raise their level as they get to the point in hopes that it's met with thunderous applause. But I think Shad forgets in this moment that he's still the boss, yelling at the employees that they've got to do better. And that's kind of the vibe in the room I felt while watching this video, despite the encouraging music behind it. Listen to how the room is kind of frozen at first until a smattering of applause begins from the coaches and then starts leaking onto all the players. Listen to this.
But most importantly, let's prove it by winning now.
It was very quick, but it was very much slow clap after a pause of like, man, this guy's still yelling at us.
By winning now.
Oh, no, that's not the raucous applause that I would hope if I was the owner trying to really pump the team up. That's just me. Your thoughts, Brian?
Yeah, no, that was the part that stood out to me. I couldn't tell if I was like, is this Shad Khan acting, not angry, but acting like I'm revved up, or is this him revved up? Because he's a big-time millionaire, billionaire businessman, so those people aren't always pleasant because I'm sure business deals aren't always pleasant. Sure. And you gotta tighten people up.
I got to imagine you become a billionaire by being a little cold-hearted. Yeah.
But then I was like, but if this is the energy right here, I can do that. I just got to get the rest of it down because it wasn't, you know what I mean? Like it felt like this might have been, I'm trying to step into this kind of energy as an owner versus.
I'll say this. You look at a guy like Warren Buffett. Shout out to Warren Buffett, turns 94 today.
Wow. He's aging well.
Well, when you have $190 billion, you age well. Warren Buffett, I think, is the 4th most rich person in the universe, right?
Is that a list? Okay.
It was like the Forbes richest people in the world.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were joking with universe. You assume Mars and Jupiter don't have oligarchs on it.
That's very, okay.
So you look at Warren Buffett and you go, I get he's super billionaire. I get he's a business owner, but he doesn't look like one of these guys who finger wags at employees and yells at people. No free lunch on Fridays. He doesn't look like that guy. This Shad Khan doesn't strike me as that guy either. Shad Khan was doing that bit for AEW a couple of weeks ago. You remember?
Yeah.
When he ran into the ring?
Right. Yeah.
And he's trying to act angry, and I'm like, Shad looks like he's doing an impression of someone else who got angry once.
Yeah, but Aaron, see, that's my point. It's like when you tell somebody, hey, act like this, all of a sudden lights, camera, action, or they know a camera's on them, all of a sudden they're super robotic or they're trying to do it, versus if you catch them in a real moment when someone's playing with their money, and it's like, this business deal about to fall through. Stop playing with me, and you get the realness. So I couldn't gauge if this is really him or he's playing up a little bit for the cameras, even though, Doug, your job's on the line. You know what I mean? I couldn't tell from that clip, but it was a great clip anyway.
I feel like both of them are kind of true. I feel like Doug's job is on the line as well as a few other people in that organization.
Yeah.
That being said, I'm just not buying it from Shad. I'm not buying it.
Is it a tough sell for you? And I know we're blowing past a break, but I got to ask you this right now. It's not a tough sell for you to hear that potentially, if that came out from Schefter or somebody that, hey, we've got legitimate sources saying that Doug Peterson's on the hot seat. That's not a hard sell for you right now?
Hard to imagine?
Yeah.
Well, it's not like Doug has had multiple losing seasons, which is normally what Shad waits for before he unloads a head coach, unless they've been busy screwing the team over publicly like Urban Meyer.
Okay.
I do think when you combine it with you made the playoffs, then you took a step backwards. If you take an additional step backwards this year, I think it's very much in question. Also, maybe you don't take a step backwards, but if all of the struggles are because of a decision that you as head coach were stubborn about or refused to listen to advisors on, and I'm talking about Press Taylor, I don't necessarily know that Doug got advice not to have Press Taylor call the plays. I'm just saying hypothetically, because we believe Shad Khan wants Doug calling the plays based on the comments made in the offseason. He says he has a way he feels about it, but he doesn't want Doug to do what he wants. He wants Doug to do what Doug wants. Doug's going to use press. We kind of know that at this point. We don't know it, but we kind of know it. So if that's the problem this year, let's say it's a top 3 defense. Let's say the team wins 10 or 11 games and makes the playoffs, even goes to round 2. But let's say the offense averages 21 points a game. I think Doug's job may still be on the line.
Really?
It really depends who's out there.
Man.
You think if Shad Khan has a shot at Ben Johnson, the Lions offensive coordinator, next season, after a couple of seasons of this nonsense on offense, you think he's turning that down? I'm not sure that he is. Or if Mike Vrabel is obsessed with the teal and black, is he turning that down to have Press Taylor calling offense plays? I'm not sure.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not sure.
I get it.
We know Shad is patient. We know he doesn't like to pull the trigger so quickly. And quite frankly, I believe that Trevor's opinion will count here. But is Trevor looking at the difference between those two guys and going, is Trevor looking at it like a business, or is he looking at it like his work family? I think that's what it will come down to for him as well.
I just think, Aaron, if they win 11 games and go to the divisional round of the playoffs,
it seems improbable that any changes would be made, sure.
But
I don't disagree with that.
I'm trying to get out of the kind of energy where I'm like, hey, man, we sucked. We sucked really bad. And then we even sucked the first year of Trevor. And when Doug got here, winning season, playoffs, winning season, collapse. And then if they win 11 games, 12, I'm hoping for 13 or something like that. I'm just like, yo, you never had that. Or maybe you had it in the 90s. I'm not sure.
Don't lower the bar. Don't lower the bar.
That's fair.
The reality is, had the collapse not happened, had Trevor's injuries not happened, had it been a healthy football team last year, you may have seen 11 or 12 wins.
Yeah.
They were 8-3. But, the flop side of it, the flop side.
Okay. Personal foul.
The flip side of it is the Jaguars have a tough schedule out of the gate. Right? So the Jags lead off the season. You're talking about at the Dolphins, home for the Browns, at the Bills, at the Texans. It's an entirely possible reality. If things go poorly, you start 0-4, and teams don't recover from that. So if I'm looking at you, and the Jags win 6 to 8 games this season, I don't see how you can come back with the same guys on the coaching staff.
Yeah, you're right. They won 9 games last season, and they didn't come back with the defensive coaching staff.
They almost didn't come back with the offensive guy. They left it up to the head coach.
So you're right.
It's the Aaron Schachter Show, 904-362-9901. Quick break on ESPN 690. When we come back, I believe, Dead on Arrival. Or Dead or Alive.
Flop side.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly sunny, hot and humid today with an isolated brief shower inland, but most spots stay dry again with highs in the low 90s, dropping into the 70s tonight. And a partly sunny, hot and humid Saturday with, again, just an isolated brief shower. Highs in the upper 80s at the beaches to the low 90s inland. From the First Alert Weather Center for CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax, I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, proud to offer a huge selection of both lab-grown and natural diamonds at the lowest prices guaranteed.
Hello, thanks for calling the Crooks R Us support line with your tip of the day.
Beware, this is the time of year you'll see more and more Safe Touch security signs as we draw closer to back to school.
And you might ask yourself, who are these folks turning into Safe Touch security this time of year? And the answer's simple, parents.
See, parents love it because SafeTouch gives them a notification the moment Junior gets home from school.
And with video monitoring, parents can also see who happens to be with their precious little angel.
So basically, the kids are never home alone.
And the parents are never away from home.
Therefore, expect to see more SafeTouch houses this summer.
And more than ever, remember to stick to the Crooks R Us golden rule. Stay away from SafeTouch houses.
Remember that, and you too will stay out of the slammer.
No alarm system gives you peace of mind like SafeTouch. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson of SafeTouch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
For a limited time, get a new SafeTouch system at $0 down with a free video doorbell. Plus, add an indoor camera for just $49. Call 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license CF 2000-1945.
Got water problems? Call your plumber and ask about Safety Zone Water Systems. The best plumbers use Safety Zone Water Systems. Safety Zone Water Systems are top quality equipment that provide the best water and save money too. Safety Zone Water Systems.
Attention men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry and receive a free hair and scalp examination and get 2 weeks of laser treatments for free. Call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Hairforme.com.
Rich Jones here. If you're an investor who's interested in doing well while doing good, getting solid returns on your investments while making a positive impact, consider investment funds with DLP Capital. Here's Don Winter, CEO of DLP Real Estate Capital, to tell you more.
With the current housing shortage in the U.S., investing in real estate, especially workforce housing, is one of the safest and most reliable places to invest. We invest in affordable housing for hardworking people and generate amazing returns for each of our investors.
To get your investor's guide and find out more, dial **invest from your cell phone or visit highyieldreturns.net.
I'm Josh Scobie, proud supporter of Guardian Catholic School. Did you know that literacy is the most important predictor of lifelong success? That's why Guardian educators focus on teaching literacy skills from pre-K 3 through 3rd grade, so kids can read to learn from 4th grade on. Our teachers and parents can't do it alone, so we're inviting you to get a kick out of reading. Our aim is to provide new hardcover and digital books for each class. Help kids get a kick out of reading. Please give today. Visit guardiancatholic.com and click on Get a Kick Out of Reading.
Every year in Florida, 200 children and teens die due to firearm-related injuries. Know the basics of firearm safety and talk to your children about the risks. Learn more at go.baptistjacks.com/gunsafety.
In a crisis, your number one need is food, because when things go sideways, it's always one of the first things to sell out. But if you wait to stock up, all you'll find at the grocery store are crowds of desperate people and empty shelves. That's why FEMA and the Red Cross say you need at least 72 hours of non-perishable food. But here's the good news. For Patriots, the trusted preparedness company is offering listeners of this station a special buy one, get two free deal on its best-selling 72-hour survival food kits. This new and improved kit has 20 servings of delicious food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, all designed to last for 25 years. It sells for $29 and has been rated 4.4 stars by thousands of happy customers. But when you act quickly and buy one kit, you will get 2 more kits absolutely free. That's 3 kits for the price of one. $58 in free food. Go to freefood1.com. That's freefood1.com. This deal won't last. Go to freefood1.com now.
Hey, you.
What's good, my boy?
Connect with us on Instagram. Search for @ESPN690Jax and check out the latest sports news. We're ESPN 690.
What?
We are ESPN 690.
As long as we tracking.
Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Welcome back to the Aaron Schachter Show, 904-362-9901. If you'd like to jump in, we take all callers. 904-362-9901. Oh, I'm so heartbroken to see Sports Freak won't be joining us today. I saw her just leave.
That's sarcasm?
Me? What?
I can't tell.
I don't even know why you're accusing me.
No, I'm not accusing. It was
That's
a
not
question.
my style. Sarcasm? How dare you? Never been so insulted in my life, Brian.
Okay, all right.
Jeez. Just trying to give a compliment. Didn't think it would be such a big deal.
I like the way you guys bonded over Beach Boulevard, though. You guys were dead set on letting me know about Beach Boulevard. If there's ever anything going to happen on there.
Listen, you were taking some critical feedback there in the break. I thought you did a good job of that. Not everyone is comfortable with critical feedback.
Oh, man, it sounded like you were about to yell at me.
Hey, shout out to Matt, who won the FSU tickets yesterday. He's in the chat today.
Nice.
Says, hey there, thanks for the FSU tickets. Who should I reach out to get them? You're on your own, Matt. Figure it out. Just kidding. Matt, you can give Brian a call. Brian will grab your phone number, and we'll figure it out and give you a call back.
Matt, as a matter of fact, Matt, don't even worry about it. I still got your information. I'm going to get that to the appropriate people ASAP.
Look at that, Matt. Second time's a charm, buddy. We'll figure it out for you. Hey, we're going to be giving away FSU tickets, it feels like, every week this year.
Oh, great.
We got a nice allotment. Shout out to the garnet and gold, as opposed to the blue and orange. Did you see what UF and Miami's got going on, Brian?
Educate me.
Before we get to dead on arrival. I saw that Florida put out a post on social media calling for a whiteout this week. They want all the fans to put on the white shirt, the white pants, pretend like they're going to a PG-rated puffy party.
Oh, boy.
Head to the stadium and cheer on the Gators. And so Miami saw that UF called for this and decided their road jerseys for the game at Florida, all white.
Hey, petty. Who was petty yesterday, Aaron? Who was petty yesterday that
I
we
don't
talked about?
remember.
There was something or somebody did something petty yesterday, and I was like, yes.
I don't remember.
Okay.
But I remember us talking about it. But I forgot. But yeah, this is exactly what I like to see. Now what you gonna do, Gator? What you gonna do? You're gonna wear blue? You're gonna wear blue on that white a little bit? You gotta wear white, support the Canes. You know, Big Jimmy downstairs, the one who called the FSU loss against Georgia Tech.
Big Jimmy?
Yeah, he's a U guy.
You still doing that, huh?
I told him I was doing it. He didn't fight back. He's like, you know what? That's not a bad reputation.
You tease me with a good time out here. Holy, okay.
But he goes around repping the U, holding up the U up with his hands.
Yeah, I've been in his office. I think he has the U diploma up there.
It's almost like the Batman signal for convicts. You walking around a parking lot, you're holding the U up.
That'd be UGA at this point.
Oh, okay.
There's a U there, all right, but just not.
Fair enough. He's very proud of his Hurricanes. We'll see if they can hold it up through the season. All right, Brian. I heard from a little a little birdie that you've got
an exercise in excellence. It's a Brian Middleton production.
All right.
Oh, that's the part where you start.
Six string on my back.
There you go.
Play for keeps. I do that in my room by myself. Play a little air guitar.
A little Corey Feldman energy right
Yeah, well, I'm a little bit better. I'm a little bit better than Corey Feldman. How dare you?
He said sing backup. There you go.
Brian, I've got to tell you, man, I did not prepare any for you. You're going to have to go all me on this one.
That's fine. Let's see. Aaron Schachter.
Unless I could think of one.
Well, I'm sure you can think of one. But I'm good. I promise. Plus, we don't have that much time anyway. Let's go. Here we go. First up, Aaron Schachter, you don't need the rules for Dead or Alive because we do this once every 10 days or so.
But maybe our kinfolk need it.
Dead or Alive is where me and Aaron normally give each other a phrase, a statement, like Taco Bell is still top tier. Dead or alive. Is that statement true? Then it's alive. If it's not, then it's dead. Don't really play hotkeys with it. We normally start laughing before we get to anything that could be a hotkey. But, if there's a hotkey available, I'm sure we will play it. So, Aaron Schachter.
Yes.
Dead or alive. Jacksonville Jaguars 9-8 seasons under Doug Peterson. Dead or alive?
I'd like to believe they're dead
Yeah,
moving forward, man. Here's the
Okay.
reality. We talked about it a little bit last segment, but if this man, Dougie P, puts in a 9-win season, I don't know, man. I think it might be his 2nd out of 3 chances. Last year was the 3rd out of 3. He ends up losing a defensive coordinator. They go 9-8 this year. He probably has to shed Press Taylor. He's got 1 more year on him. I don't know. Part of me goes, Shad is too patient to fire someone after a season like this. But then again, depends on what the season looks like. 9-8, that's a tough one. It's a winning season. Technically, you got to see how the rest of the AFC turns out before you can say that's a playoff or not a playoff. It's likely no playoffs. Or if it is, it's like tiebreaker playoffs, which is really nerve-wracking, right? 3-4 weeks before the end of the season, you're scoreboard watching. You're trying to look up how many total points the team has. You're like, did they win the game against the Titans 2 weeks ago by more than 7? You just want to get in. I think Doug needs to do that.
Okay.
I think he knows that.
Yeah.
And I'd like to believe the 9-8 seasons are dead on arrival.
You know what? Sure. Sure. Next up, Dead or Alive, impromptu one, Aaron Schachter.
Okay.
Your happiness
Yep.
that you don't have to face news freak, sports freak.
Who? Okay.
News queen,
Who?
Michelle Thibodeau in survey says.
Yeah.
The happiness, is it dead or alive? Are you actually sad that you don't get to face her?
I was just telling you, Brian, I've never been more ecstatic that we don't have to deal with sports freak Michelle Thibodeau at all. Thank goodness she walked out of the studio and I don't have to. What? Was that? There's a noise in there, Brian? We good?
Oh, we're good.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I was just saying, I'm so happy I don't have to deal with Michelle Thibodeau, the sports freak, and all that nonsense. Is there something going on in the back of your studio right now? In the camera?
Oh, wow. I didn't. Okay, move like a ninja.
Oh, okay. Now I see.
Okay.
Oh, like I was saying, man, I'm really going to miss Michelle Thibodeau today on the radio show, and I kind of hope she changes her mind and sticks around with us
All
today.
right. So that was kind of the live. Because I don't know. You kind of went both ways.
I believe Sports Freak is dead on arrival.
Got you. Oh, wow.
Someone should wake her
Phrasing. Okay, here we go. Next up, Aaron, a little non-sport topic, but maybe if you were following the news.
All right.
Might have added a little spice on this, but here we go.
Here we go.
Jacksonville Zoo family visits after all those apes died.
Ooh, this is a tough one, Brian. This is a really sad one right here.
Yeah.
Because
Can you visit there knowing that those apes?
yeah, whether the visits are dead or not, certainly the apes are. They have passed away from an infection. It's very sad. I'm watching a chimp lady documentary on Netflix.
Okay.
Now we talking.
Yeah, boy.
Do you see this thing?
No,
Have you seen it?
No, that's all you.
I forget what it's called.
Chimp
I
lady.
want to say it's called Crazy Chimp Lady, but it's from the people who made Tiger King.
I see that the creative director there is just like, hey.
Listen, I'm going to say something that sounds like you should dump out of it. I'm telling you, you don't have to dump out of it. This will explain how crazy the show is.
Okay.
In the first episode, spoiler alert, in the first episode, we find out this unstable person breastfed her baby chimp.
Man, hell no.
That should have been the Hell Naw story of the day right there.
But it's not. There's something better coming, apparently.
No, I'm just saying this is a wild documentary. I think there's only been 2 episodes, not on Netflix. I think it's on Max, actually.
Okay.
I've only seen 2 episodes come out. I think it's like a weekly, 4 or 5 episodes in total.
What's Max again?
Is HBO.
Okay. Oh,
It's
HBO.
Warner
Okay.
Brothers, Discovery, HBO.
Gotcha.
But a wild documentary series. If you saw it in your queue or something like that and you were curious about it, it's definitely worth the watch so far. I don't even remember what we were talking. Oh, you're talking about these dead monkeys at the zoo. Yeah. Sad, Brian. So how could you make fun of that?
I heard it was like from an unreliable source. I was in a Winn-Dixie, and apparently, it might have been a monkey flu.
A monkey flu?
And that scared me to death because I've seen Outbreak.
Monkey flu?
Yeah, man.
Now, this is like a bacterial infection.
Yeah, that's how it starts
But,
off, right?
The reality is this, man. We shouldn't have monkeys in these cages. We got no business jailing these monkeys. Oh, boy. What? We got the sports freak. What do we got?
It was a bacterial infection that not only affects apes, but it also affects humans, but humans can tolerate it much better. The apes cannot. They're more susceptible to all the symptoms of it. So there's 3 apes that died, 2 bonobos and 1 silverback gorilla. And these are endangered species, so this was a big deal. It's very sad. And then there's still other apes that are all going through treatment because of this infection. It's a terrible story. It's heartbreaking.
Narcotics are a terrible thing, Brian.
Let's get it.
This is a terrible thing. Listen, thank goodness the Sports Freak is here to give us all of the real information.
By the way, okay?
Man, just when we thought we only wanted to make fun of things.
Because, honestly, monkey flu terrified me.
Who knew how fun facts could be?
Thank you for clearing up that it was monkey flu. Is that what you did say? Okay, thank you. Next up, dead or alive? Dead or alive? Dead or alive? Aaron Schachter.
Yeah.
This week's prison report.
Oh, man. Normally, Nia calls in around 3:30.
He's called early, yeah, past couple times.
It might be dead for the week.
Okay.
You know, I don't like using that word, the D word, when talking about Nia and his time at Cambridge University, Cumberland Penitentiary.
Okay.
One of the two. Let's just assume he's busy. Maybe he's got like a sewing class he started.
Okay.
Or maybe he's taking like a resume workshop or something.
Busy or alive, the prison report for this week with Nia.
I'm going to go with busy.
Okay.
I'm an optimist, Brian. Glass half full kind of guy.
Like that.
And so maybe he had some bad mashed potatoes or something. Maybe he mixed it up with the wrong pod boss and he needs to take a week to recollect himself.
Oh, man, it gave me such a great idea. Next, another impromptu. Yeah, I can say dead or alive now. Another impromptu dead or alive, Aaron Schachter.
Yeah.
Consigliere pop-up quizzes.
It was Mafia pop-up quiz.
Oh, okay.
Very much alive,
Yeah, I
Brian.
love that. We
Here's
talked
the
about
thing.
it. That's so great.
I will ace every Mafia quiz you've got.
Yeah, you will.
You could literally just Google Mafia quiz and give it to me. I bet you I get almost all those right.
Well,
You're
your
going to have
time
to
with the
challenge
fam.
me a little bit harder when it comes to the pop quizzes.
Your time with the fam. I understand,
You know
man.
what I mean?
I'm not going to push that. Sleeping with the fishes out here.
That's right.
Aaron Schachter, let's see. I got one more.
Let's get it.
Yeah, I got one more. Dead or alive?
Dead or alive?
Aaron Schachter's Corey Feldman fixation.
Oh. Based on the 13 and a half minutes on TikTok that I watched this morning, I'd say
13 and a half minutes.
on TikTok, that's like 3 hours. Very much alive. I am obsessed with the man's awful singing.
Yeah.
I am obsessed with the man's awful wardrobe.
Yeah.
I am obsessed with the lack of respect his bandmates give him.
Yeah.
I am obsessed with whatever he's got going on with his hair. I am obsessed with his obsession with Michael Jackson, a man who hasn't breathed air in over 10 years. This guy is still walking around doing those dance moves like we're supposed to look at him in awe and go, wow. The whole thing is nonsense, and I want more of it every day.
That man's still eating off Goonies money. He's still eating off of 83 money.
I'll be the one spooning it right in his mouth, man. I will feed this man till the day is over.
What? What are you talking about?
He's eating, I'm feeding.
Nah, that ain't clear it up.
No?
Man,
Nah, that ain't cleared up at
no.
all, Aaron Schachter. That's it for dead or alive.
I'm just saying, if he's looking for something to eat, I got the food. I can punch it home.
All right.
Yeah. I'll be like, open wide, buddy. Do the little airplane thing. No?
I don't know what's hockey to play. You got it, man.
Okie doke.
You got it.
I have a feeling we're not coming back before the Sports Center.
Nah, this took us to basically.
Yeah, too much Corey Feldman nonsense, Brian.
Well, and that whole breakdown of the bacterial infection with the. No, it was
She
us.
really did.
No, we were talking about it. Aaron made fun of it.
Yeah,
I
she
said
really
I was
did.
terrified by the monkey flu.
She interrupted a very funny part of the show with like an NPR report. I'm like, relax over there, sports freak.
It was very informative. People hear monkey flu from Michelle Thibodeau, and all of a sudden they take it as, 100% truth.
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly.
'Cause
Whatever
we're a
she
sports show.
said. Sports freak needs to stick to the sports is what the fans are saying.
By the way, with the bacterial monkey flu allegedly that's out there, was that dead that you're not going to take the family out there until they get that kind of terminated out
I
of
mean,
there?
I already feel guilty when I roll out there, but as long as they're going to let me feed the giraffes by hand, I'm going to go forever.
Okay.
Like, I feel bad. I don't think we should be caging animals like that. But man, those giraffes are super cute. You can't not. You got a baby with you too? Ooh, buddy.
I
You're
can't
like,
tell if you're joking. Do they have a giraffe there?
legit. You go to the giraffes. I got pictures and everything. You give them $1. They give you a couple of sticks and leaves and stuff. You hold it out to the giraffe. The giraffe sticks out this long black tongue and like wraps it around the food and takes it from you. It's adorable, Brian.
You just feed all kinds of people, huh? You
It's
feed Corey
adorable.
Feldman. You feed giraffes. Good for you, Aaron Schachter.
It's adorable. It's the Aaron Schachter Show. Yet another adorable thing. Right? No? That's fine. 904-362-9901. Back in a couple of minutes after the Sports Center.
ESPN 690 is your home for Florida State Seminoles football. Get all the action from the Garnet and Gold on the gridiron.
Florida State opens with a touchdown.
On Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. ESPN 690 is your home for Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp Baseball.
High to right center. It's out of here.
Hear all of the action from the Crustacean Nation.
And Jacksonville's blown this game open.
On Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Sports Center update brought to you by Tailgaters Parking.
It's one thing falling in love with a house, picturing yourself moving in and calling it home, and quite another navigating the world of price negotiating, mortgage lenders, and finding the budget that works best for you. An agent who's a Realtor can make understanding that world easier. Realtors have the expertise, access to proprietary data, and tools to help you get from imagining living somewhere to actually doing it. That's the kind of help we can provide. Because that's who we are. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us, too, in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Attention men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry and receive a free hair and scalp examination and get 2 weeks of laser treatments for free. Call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Hairforme.com.
Hi, I'm Mike Lester, the founder of Talon Wealth and the host of the Guarding Your Nest Egg radio show. Like you, I love this country, and I'm very thankful for those that protect us along with our freedoms. That's why for active military and active first responders, if you decide to work with us, Talon Wealth isn't going to charge you any advisor fees. We're happy to explain all the details, but most importantly, thank you for your service.
Visit guardingyournestegg.com to find out more.
Advisory services through Talon Private Wealth and SEC registered investment advisor. Lord license D056341.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, Prime Men's Medical Center will get your sex life back in just one visit. Their painless, breakthrough medical treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Prime Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Prime Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments will restore your sex life regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. Plus, you'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients will have their testosterone checked free. Call 904-900-4770, 904-900-4770. To regain your sex life in just one visit, call now. 904-900-4770.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Studios, Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Tributes and condolences pouring in after the deaths of Columbus Blue Jackets winger Johnny Gaudreau and his brother Matthew. They were riding bicycles Thursday when they were struck and killed in New Jersey. The driver is under arrest and facing multiple charges. Johnny Gaudreau was 31 years old. Matthew was 29. The CeeDee Lamb deal is done for the Cowboys, but not so for Dak Prescott. ESPN's Jordan Raanan says the decision is still the same for Prescott.
The open market, is right. He'll be the number one big quarterback in football, but then maybe take a little less and have a better chance to win. Stay in Dallas, stay in Texas where you have no state income tax. Stay with the Dallas Cowboys where there is a huge benefit of being on the Dallas Cowboys, and maybe give yourself the best chance to win.
Jordan Raanan on Game Night. ESPN's Jeff Darlington reports the Dolphins will sign head coach Mike McDaniel to a 3-year extension that runs through 2028. Royals first baseman Vinny Pasquantino will miss at least the rest of the regular season with a broken right thumb after he collided Thursday with Yainer Diaz of the Astros.
Hey, it's Courtney Cronin coming up on Monday on Unsportsmanlike. Week 1 of the NFL season is upon us, but which team still has the biggest question marks before they kick off? It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Got water problems? Call your plumber and ask about Safety Zone Water Systems. The best plumbers use Safety Zone Water Systems. Safety Zone Water Systems are top quality equipment that provide the best water and save money too. Safety Zone Water Systems.
Are you a real estate investor or have considered investing and want to know where you can put your money that offers solid returns and protects against market volatility? It's Rich Jones. I want to introduce you to DLP Capital. CEO and founder Don Wenner.
For more than a decade, DLP Capital has delighted our investors with consistent double-digit returns. Through the smart, conservative real estate investment strategy our company is built on, we have been able to achieve this with monthly distributions and tax shelters so our investors can keep more of their returns.
Dial ** invest on your cell phone or visit highyieldreturns.net.
Bueller Air & Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's challenger, an asphalt marketer from Jacksonville, Florida. Meet Sheldon Fish. Today's category, air conditioner repair experts in Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, I bet it's gonna be Bueller.
Your question. Unlike Jacksonville, the Sahara Desert has a complete lack of air conditioner repair experts. What kind of camels do they ride?
That's not really a question about air conditioner repair.
5 seconds.
But that's a camel question.
Pick a camel, Sheldon.
Arabian dromedary.
That's right, Sheldon. Like the majestic Arabian dromedary, the skilled technicians at Bueller Air & Plumbing can repair any make and model of air conditioner the same day you call, making sure you are cool.
They don't spit, do they?
No, but Steve, the new guy, has a bit of a hump.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
We love to celebrate Labor Day weekend with family, friends, picnics, and parties. Please be safe this holiday weekend and don't drink and drive. From your friends at ESPN 690 and Anajar and Levine, accident attorneys.
I'm Daniel Davis, President and CEO of Jack's Chamber. Did you know that more than 100 people a day are moving to the Jacksonville region? They see what we've known all along, that our beaches and access to waterways give us a quality of life like no other, that our variety of neighborhoods from historic to brand new allow everyone to find their perfect match, and that our innovative business community keeps our economy thriving. To learn more, visit jackschamber.com.
Shop the Beaches Green Market this and every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Penman Park on Penman Road for fresh local fruits and vegetables, plants, meats, eggs, baked goods, honey, wellness products, and so much more. EBT cards welcome. Diglocal.org for more info.
The lightest 350 horsepower onboard has just hit the water. Introducing the all-new Yamaha 4.3-liter V6 Offshore F350 with advanced features and class-leading power to weight. Every run will be more efficient and exhilarating. The new 4.3-liter V6 Offshore F350 from Yamaha. Reliability starts here.
Jasmine is Northeast Florida's only LGBTQ+ youth center, offering health and mental health programs, housing supports, and teen and family initiatives. Jasmine is the safe place our LGBTQ+ young people need right now. Partner to support our effort. Visit jasmine.org today.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text FLASH to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text SLASH to 321-321. That's slash to 321-321.
Who is this guy? Aaron Shafting? What is it? Oh, Schachter? Schachter. Okay. Shack Attack. Schachter. He gets shacked. But I digress. Here we go.
You ready? Yeah. Turn up your radio.
The Aaron Schachter Show on ESPN 690.
Oh, welcome back. It's the Aaron Schachter Show. It's been so long since we've seen each other. Quick, come on in for a little embrace, will ya? Bring it in for the real thing. 904-362-9901. Aaron Schachter with you guys up until 5. Brian Middleton with me up until we leave you. All right. I guess that's where that bet ends. That's fine. It's a little jarring to me, Brian.
Was it? Did it come down a little too much?
Like I fell off a cliff or something.
It was cliffish.
We should practice that. We should run reps after the show.
It wasn't quite like it wasn't that, but it was close enough. It was. That's where I went.
That was a little better, actually.
That's exactly what I did.
Run it back. Let's do it again.
Okay.
All right. Welcome back to the Aaron Schachter Show.
All right.
We're going to move on with the show right now.
Okay.
As I keep talking. But I hear the bed getting lower, which is exactly what it should sound. Look at you. Look at you. You're learning.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you.
Let me know.
So proud of you.
I've never heard this part of the instrument. I was over here like, wow, I forgot about this part of the song.
Wow, they play guitars on this song? All right, cool. Welcome back to the Aaron Schachter Show. A little fun in the first hour, talking Nick Wright and Shad Khan's message to the boys in teal. We actually didn't have to play a press conference today. That was kind of great. That was kind of fun. We had a battle against the sports freak in the studio. Man, that woman loves nothing more
than what?
Than she loves coming into the studio, not talking on the mic, but when she is on the mic, cracking some gum into the mic and absolutely disrupting this show.
Good answer. Good answer.
She loves to claim being on the show. It's like, all right, but you do more to hurt it than you do to help it.
Come on, man. Don't be like that. Man.
You know how mad she is grabbing her phone right now. Let me tell these boys something. Just like, relax, Michelle. Leave the phone alone. You got to be driving. You got to drive. Be safe. Be safe. Don't steam your glasses up or anything. Just a little bit of fun. We played Dead on Arrival and Dead or Alive. That was a fun time. I'll let you know how petty the Hurricanes are being right now. The Gators, you know, Aaron Schachter Show supports all forms of toxicity and pettiness. Mm-hmm. But, of course, now it's a different story, Brian. Play the music. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome back to the show after a long hibernation in which he flew even further to the south in the offseason. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Aaron Schachter Show. 3rd season running. It's Ducky Bets.
How you guys doing,
What's
guys?
up, Duck?
Listen, I flew so far down south, I was smoking Cuban cigars down in Cuba.
You know, they just call them cigars, Duck. You don't got to call them Cuban cigars. Yeah.
Well, listen, I'm a Jersey boy through and through, man. So
yeah. Brian said that to me. He goes, I don't know where Duck is from, but he sounds like Jersey trash. I'm like, oh, you're not that far off, man. I was looking at a map. This has nothing to do with sports. I was looking at a map of every state's favorite grocery store, supermarket. Mm-hmm. Jersey is one of these only states that has their own favorite. Everyone else shares a favorite with another state. Like Wegmans is in a bunch of states, and Kroger is number 1 in a bunch of states, and Publix down here is number 1 in a bunch of states. And then there's Jersey with ShopRite.
Yup. Yup. Just put in my order today, actually. We're going to go pick it up.
You guys got to be weird about it.
2 hours.
ShopRite. All right. Fair enough. Doc, I'm so happy to hear from you, man. It's been a long off season.
Yes, it has. It's been a solid baseball season. I've had some good times over here, but
that's right.
You get a little tired of watching 160 games, man.
You are one of those psychos who likes to bet baseball. That's not something I would suggest other people do.
Yeah, it's a daily grind, but it's been a good season, honestly. Probably one of the better ones so far.
And obviously, you share some of these prognostications, whether it be on X at Ducky_Bets, or you give the good stuff to the Duck Pond on your Discord over on Patreon. So you go to Patreon, you find Ducky at /Duck Pond, and you get access to that Discord server with a little monthly subscription. You'll be rolling in that cash.
Hell yeah.
Nicely done. All right, Duck. So you reached out to me. You're like, hey, man, season's about to start. We should probably be focusing here on some NFL futures. And I'm like, look, anytime we get to talk Jaguars, AFC South, and betting, you can count me in faux show. So tell me where we're starting today, man. What are you looking at? I know you love value bets. I saw a couple of articles with different value bets. I was like, I wonder if Duck is even sniffing some of these bets.
Oh yeah, I've been working like an animal over here, man. You know, no pun intended.
I mean, you really should have been working like a human, because as a duck, that should be like the standard. But okay, that's fine.
Very true. Yeah, no, I've been reading all types of beat writers, all kinds of training camp stuff, and I've been looking at stuff. And I did key in the AFC South. I can't talk AFC South over here for you guys' show. And every division preview you see online, and you dig up on the internet, everyone's, staking their claim that the Texans are unbeatable, and every frat boy in America is on them. And then you have all the talking heads on the betting podcast nerding out about Shane Steichen, banging the drums on the Colts. But when everybody zigs, you know what I do? I jag, baby. Jag.
Like it. Like it.
So, look, people forget, man, the Jaguars, and I'm sure you guys have spoken all about this offseason. Jaguars were 8-3 to start the season. Obviously fell off. Went on a 1-5 run to end the season, and those are literally struggles can be attributed to three major factors, right? Trevor Lawrence injury, the horrible interior offensive line play, and then the defense falling apart.
Nailed it.
So all three of those things have been addressed, all of them, right? Trevor Lawrence is supposed to come into the season fully healthy. He's ready to roll. They added a bunch of wide receiver talent. They added Brian Thomas Jr., which I can touch on in a little bit, Gabe Davis, Devin Duvernay even, right? Adding them to Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram. So we have a much more reliable group than last year here, which was led by the drop king himself, Calvin Ridley. I don't think I've ever watched anybody drop more end zone balls than I have with Calvin Ridley.
It was so wild, too. It wasn't just
annoying.
the dropped end zone balls. It was every time this man was trying to catch a pass, Brian, he was falling, first of all. And then the thing that worked out for the Jaguars last year, it seemed every game he was having a defender commit at least 2 penalties during the game. There was at least 2 pass interference flags thrown on every Calvin Ridley game last year. So in that sense, you were like, well, this could work out for us. If he's not going to catch him deep, at least he can get the flag deep, and we can still move the ball that way. But it didn't work out.
Yeah, it's fair, but I don't know. I swear he dropped so many balls.
So many.
It was frustrating to watch I had him on my fantasy. So, I suffered that season, but whatever.
You did suffer, didn't
Second
you?
to last place. Yeah, second to last place. No problem.
Do you remember where you drafted him? Was it an early draft pick?
I want to say somewhere in like the middle, like 5-6 maybe.
That's not terrible. That's fine.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible.
Picking up a possible wide receiver 1 in the middle of the draft, that's fine. Yeah.
I was dependent on him, but let the Titans enjoy him this year. So then they ended up picking up the 2 solid interior offensive linemen, Ezra Cleveland and Mitch Morse.
Yep.
Both of them grade pretty highly in PFF. And then my favorite part about this entire team is the revamp that they have with their defensive coaching staff. So they bring in Ryan Nielsen. I'm sure you guys have spoken at length about him. And if you go back and see what the Falcons did last year when he was the defensive coordinator, he took players that were not even close to the talent level that this Jaguars defense has right now and made them the 11th ranked defense according to PFF.
Talk your talk, buddy.
And he doubled their sack total from 21 to 42 last year. All right, and held teams to the 10th lowest defensive yards allowed. So he's a good defensive coordinator. His scheme is a man press scheme, and with the acquisitions that you guys made in the backfield this offseason, you guys took Terrell Edmonds, Darnell Savage, Trey Flowers. These are real players, and you're adding them to Tyson Campbell, Antonio Johnson, right, and Ronald Darby. So you have a solid backfield now, and it's going to allow you to do that man press scheme, and then let your defensive line, which should be a little bit more improved now that they added Arik Armstead, and you're adding that to, obviously, I guess he's going by Hines Allen now, all right? Josh Allen, you don't want to be made fun of with Josh Allen, sacking Josh Allen, and then internal development with Trayvon Walker. So I think that this is going to be a much, much improved defense. And the scheduling gods were kind of easy on the Jags. They have the 13th easiest schedule this year. Positive net rest, meaning they have more rest than their opponents on average.
Yeah, buddy.
2 games in London. I can keep banging the drum on this.
No, this is it, man. Feed it. This is the positive propaganda that we need to hear, man. We're all buying.
And listen, and I'm a third party. I'm a Jets fan, man. I have nothing to do with the Jags, but I'm, gambling wise, I see the value on this team. I see them at plus 300 to win the division. I'm not saying that the Texans are missing the playoffs. I actually think that they'll make it still as a wild card team. They're just way too talented to miss the playoffs. I just think that the Jaguars are a little underrated going into this season. And like I said, with that man press scheme, I think that it's going to give the defensive line a little bit more time to attack the quarterback. And I see plus 5,000 for the Jaguars to lead the league in sacks.
Oh, hold on. Before we get there, because that sounds like an amazing, amazing value that I'm going to be interested in taking. Could we get back to the winning the AFC South? You got the Jags you saw at plus 300. We did see the Texans are favored at plus 105. You've got the Colts. I think the last check I saw was plus 340. Titans are around plus 1,000, obviously with no shot. But you do see value on plus 300 just because you're not believing in the Colts or the Titans, and obviously the Texans, the money isn't there for you, correct?
Yeah, I prefer to look for like the value plays in the divisions, and a plus 300, that's just like it's a percentage thing. So if I have the Jaguars winning at like a 40% clip, that means that it's more valuable to take them at plus 300 rather than, for example, the Texans if I have them at a blank percent clip. Like, it's just an example.
The odds
I don't know off the top of my head, but
the odds have moved a little bit since they opened back in the offseason, where the Texans opened at 150, now 105 by my count, and the Jags opened at plus 200. That's now slid to plus 300.
Yeah. I think that was because it's Diggs, right? Wasn't that previous?
I imagine, yeah.
Before Diggs, yeah.
Yes.
Which makes sense. Honestly, look, the Texans, they're a stacked team. They have a lot of power. I mean, a lot of offensive players and stuff. But it's a lot of mouths to feed. It's gonna be hard. And my only thing is that the bookmakers, they're kind of hanging the Texans line a little bit. If you look at the 9.5 win total, it's still 9.5. You would think that a team with this many improvements on offense and defense,
north of 10, yeah.
Joe Mixon, Stephon Diggs, right? Most of the teams that have this amount of players are usually 10.5 around that area.
Yeah, and they're not alone, by the way. The Athletic came out with their model, their win predictor model. They've got the Texans in the 9-win realm as well, although also still winning the AFC South and making the playoffs. So a little bit murky on the South, but it does seem like there's a consensus among the betting favorites who they think is going to win, which means there's an opportunity for Jags fans to make a little cash on that bet. Now let's get to that second bet you talked about, because this, to me, is a very real opportunity here.
Yeah, you're it's plus 5,000. It's a long shot of long shots, right? So, but the thing is, when you're looking at this kind of thing, right? You're looking at the Falcons, who last year improved from 21 sacks to 42 sacks. Last year alone, the Jags, with the team that they had 41 sacks at the end of the season, right? So you got to think that when you plug in Ryan Nielsen's defensive scheme, and you got a whole bunch of players on the defensive back end to kind of support that scheme and give your pass rushers a little bit more time. And when you read what the beat writers are saying in the interviews with Ryan Nielsen, he's saying he simplified the defense for everybody. Trayvon Walker was quoted by saying, "I don't even have to think anymore. I just kind of put my fingers in the ground and I'm just attacking the quarterback."
You love to hear that from Trayvon Walker.
That's the stuff that you want to hear. And you got to think they got a real shot at least. Like, you have Josh Hines Allen. He's gonna challenge for most sacks in the league at some point in his career, right? So you have all of these players that are there, and why not? Plus 5,000, you're taking a value shot in the dark. Sprinkle a little $5-10. I'm not even asking for a lot. A little Chipotle bet.
Now I'm looking at what's being offered out there, and the Niners right now leaders in the clubhouse as far as the odds go. But even the Niners are plus 750.
Mm-hmm.
So a tough bet to call at the beginning of the season. The Jets right behind them with the Chiefs at plus 900. Plus 5,000 is great when you consider all the things you retire. I mean, if Josh Hines Allen just stays flat, he doesn't need to surpass 17.5. He doesn't even need to get back there. But if he's in double digits between 13 and 15, doing a Josh Hines Allen kind of year that you would expect from the fourth highest paid defensive guy in the league, And then Trayvon Walker comes in with his double digits. I believe he's going to ascend past where he was last year, but that's another 10. We're hearing Eric Armstead not only is going to be shoving bodies around in the middle of that defensive line, but a lot of the smoke around the stadium is that they're going to put him on the edge as well. This man was already a quarterback nightmare from the middle. I imagine it's going to be more of that from the edge. We're hearing guys like Devin Lloyd maybe pointed at the quarterback. We've seen the work Yasir Abdullah has done in the offseason and the preseason. I think you got a really good shot to be amongst the leaders in this league. And that might be something I start sniffing some action on right there.
Yeah, and I think that the lowest I see it out there on books is at plus 3,500. So you have a range of plus 3,500 to plus 5,000. It's a solid
any of them are good.
Bet.
Any of them are good.
You never know.
Talk to me about BTJ.
Oh yeah. So BTJ, I'm loving his draft pick. I think actually we spoke about it when I came on the show, the draft show, like right before the draft came, and I said my number one target for the Jags. If I'm the Jags, I'm taking Brian Thomas Jr. He was going around in that range, and I was like, they really need a wide receiver to fill in for Calvin Ridley, and what a perfect player to fill in for Calvin Ridley. So he was actually most successful in college in LSU on vertical routes and crossing routes, which is exactly what you need him to do on this offense. You need him to be the field stretcher. People actually don't understand how good of a deep ball passer Trevor Lawrence is. He's actually graded out as a top 5 deep ball passer when you look at advanced statistics. He's top 5 since 2021, which I believe that's the year he got drafted, right?
Yes, 21.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So top 5 among quarterbacks in deep touchdowns, deep first downs, and deep big-time throws.
Yeah, he can throw the rock.
79 and 70, yeah.
He loves the
so
route.
He can throw it. And when you have a player of Brian Thomas Jr.'s caliber, and now with 136 extra targets to spare, which is what Calvin Ridley got, right? They're going to be spreading the ball around a lot more. He's going to get his targets. And last season at LSU, he beat Malik Neighbors for receiving touchdowns. He had 17 compared to Malik Neighbors, I think, 14. And he scored 24 touchdowns in 38 games at LSU. So he has a nose for the end zone. I like the prospect of him, going for deep balls and being more of a factor in the offense as well, and taking a lot of those targets that are now open for the taking. And I see plus 700 value on him to lead rookies in receiving touchdowns. Just rookies, not the NFL.
It's interesting. I actually am starting to see him pop up on some larger lists of young guys who may be on the NFL touchdown receiving lists as far as forecasts go to end the season. Certainly got a good shot to seeing those numbers get padded with a team that has Trevor Lawrence throwing the rock for sure. He's got some tough competition, though, as you were talking about. I mean, this draft probably will go down, if everything goes to chalk, as one of the biggest, most important wide receiver drafts in history, although it's got some recent competition
no doubt.
with the class from a couple of years ago. So to think that the guy picked 23rd, 4th wide receiver off the board, might be the one leading the pack, might seem a little distant, but the reality is I think the situation is great for Brian Thomas Jr. to accomplish those numbers.
Yeah, for sure. The situation's there, and, you guys played the Titans twice a year, so there's that too.
I think I told you, I think I told you my off-season bets that I made trying to find some value and have some fun in the Hard Rock Bet app, and I think you laughed at me. Let me remind you of these bets and see if you've changed the way you look at any of these. I've got Hassan Reddick to be the preseason king. No? That's not going to happen. Okay.
Never reported.
I picked the Jets in the offseason to win the Super Bowl, my Super Bowl winner bet. I got a $50 bonus bet on it. It pays out $1,250.
I love it.
That's plus 2,500 on the odds for the Jets.
I did the same thing as a fan bet. But,
you know what I mean?
Sometimes you got to make those things.
You got to do it. I want to be able to root for the boys. And then I did 2 MVP bets, both for the MVP award. I got Justin Jefferson. I wanted to get a non-quarterback as an MVP bet because those are significant money, right? So I got Justin Jefferson winning the award. Obviously, with J.J. McCarthy going down for the year, it becomes a little more difficult. But I'm a believer in Sam Darnold. That's at plus 10,000. $5 in for 505 on the payout. And then I was like, you know what? Bijan Robinson may be the Christian McCaffrey this year. Bijan Robinson may win the most valuable player. Those are at plus 20,000. $5 bet, good for $1,005. Tell me what I'm missing here, Doug.
I'm not mad.
All right.
I'm not mad at the Bijan thought, right? Now, obviously, Justin Jefferson has changed a little bit. I don't think he's going to miss that much of a beat because knowing being from this area where the Jets play and watching all the games that Sam Darnold plays, I know that he focuses on one guy and he just peppers him
Look
over
at
and
you.
over and over.
That feels like it's not a compliment at all. That feels like give a little backhand to Sammy D.
So, no, whatever. And sometimes he peppers it to the other team. It is what it is. But
Look, only when he's seeing ghosts, Duck. Only when he's seeing ghosts. When he's just seeing football players, he throws it well. But look, who are they going to throw to? You got Addison, who got popped for a DUI. You got Hawkinson at the tight end, but Jefferson's not going to command 17 targets a game from Sam Darnold. I think it's going to be great for him.
Yeah, so I do like Justin Jefferson just in general in the year. I mean, I don't know for MVP, but Bijan Robinson, it's a good look to take him for something like that. I mean, obviously he would have to have a ridiculous season to get MVP.
He would need 25 to 30 touchdowns is really what he would need.
The only thing I would challenge you on is, like, why not just take Offensive Player of the Year? Because MVP has become kind of the best quarterback on the number one seeded team on either AFC or NFC. That's what it's become, right?
We did almost see Christian McCaffrey win it last year, and I honestly believe if Tyreek Hill hit 2,000 yards, we may have seen it from Tyreek Hill last year too.
Possibly, yeah. Like last year was the only year I think I can remember in like the last at least 5 years that it was the most threat to quarterbacks last year, because there wasn't a quarterback that like besides Lamar Jackson. Even Lamar Jackson only really had 25 passing touchdowns. You know?
Yep.
So it wasn't statistically a great year for quarterbacks last year, but I don't know. I see that as a quarterback award.
Yeah, I didn't want to take offensive. I didn't want to take offensive player of the year because Bijan's odds go to like plus 150 at that point.
No, I think they're plus 1,000 or something around there, like 1,500, something like that. But yeah, Bijan would be a good look for sure on offensive player of the year. I would actually, I wouldn't mind taking that.
Just gonna go ahead and open up this app as we're talking. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and Justin Jefferson, I haven't finalized my stuff yet, but I'm looking at him for most receiving yards. I kind of like that. I won't lie.
Yeah, man. Take my advice. I'm 0-26 since last season.
We're gonna flip that up. We're gonna flip that to 26-0.
No doubt. I just got to stop at the parlays. I think I would be okay at that point. Ducky Bets, man, I appreciate you joining the show. You can find him on Twitter at Ducky_Bets or hit him up on Patreon. Join the Duck Pond. Enjoy all the prognostication and forecasting from Duck's algorithm and server. You can find him at patreon.com/DuckPond. Duck, thank you so much, man. We appreciate you.
Yeah. I'll see you guys soon. We'll talk very, very soon. And Jets +4.
Let's go, Jets. Let's go, Jets.
All right. Bye.
See you, man. That Ducky's a good guy. A good duck. Sorry. Quack, quack, bro. I got to speak his language. Want him to be able to understand us, Brian.
You speak duck.
I do speak duck. I didn't realize you speak until just now. That was crazy.
I practice from time to time.
I thought maybe your microphone was broken or something.
I was working on it. Someone broke it earlier this week in a fit of rage, and so I was just testing some stuff out.
Is that what it was? A fit of rage? I thought
that's how it was told to me.
I thought maybe the sports freak steamed up your glasses or something, and then got humidity in the microphone.
Oh yes. Speaking of that,
we have an update.
Michelle Thibodeau says,
do we have a breaking news update from the sports freak?
Yeah, sure. Play the sound. Aaron Schachter, she texted at 4:15 p.m. Oh no, back up. She texted at 4:08 p.m. I don't talk like that. I responded, you gotta tell Aaron that. You gotta. She responded at 4:15. You can tell him.
Look, I hear what I hear. What do you want from me? What do you want from me?
I'm just...
We'll be back on the Aaron Schachter Show, where all of us will be steaming up your glasses.
Now, the First Alert Forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly sunny, hot and humid today with an isolated brief shower inland, but most spots stay dry again with highs in the low 90s, dropping into the 70s tonight. And a partly sunny, hot and humid Saturday with, again, just an isolated brief shower. Highs in the upper 80s at the beaches to the low 90s inland. From the First Alert Weather Center for CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax, I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, proud to offer a huge selection of both lab-grown and natural diamonds at the lowest prices guaranteed.
It's the Labor Day savings savings event going on now through Tuesday at Arlington Toyota. That's over 800 new and used in one location. Arlington Pre-Owned even has 125 vehicles under $18,000. Plus, with every new and pre-owned purchase from Arlington, you get 60 days to love it or exchange it. 60 days. Worried about financing? There's the Arlington Credit Helper. You even get complimentary car wash with every service. Arlington Toyota is open Labor Day. Shop in person or at arlingtontoyota.com.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's challenger, an asphalt marketer from Jacksonville, Florida. Meet Sheldon Fish. Today's category, air conditioner repair experts in Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, I bet it's gonna be Bueller.
Your question. Unlike Jacksonville, the Sahara Desert has a complete lack of air conditioner repair experts. What kind of camels do they ride?
That's not really a question about air conditioner repair.
5 seconds.
But that's a camel question.
Pick a camel, Sheldon.
Arabian dromedary.
That's right, Sheldon. Like the majestic Arabian dromedary, the skilled technicians at Bueller Air and Plumbing can repair any make and model of air conditioner the same day you call, making sure you are cool.
They don't spit, do they?
No, but Steve, the new guy, has a bit of a hump.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Every day, too many of our Northeast Florida seniors are choosing between buying medicine or groceries. There are 5,000 local seniors on hunger relief waiting lists right now. That's why Elder Source created the Suppers for Seniors Challenge, with Dolores Barr Weaver Legacy Funds generously matching every donation up to $50,000. Please help move hungry seniors from weight to plate and double your impact by donating at myeldersource.org.
Here's Ben and John Lupo, owners of Beards Diamonds.
It's funny. My dad has sold people engagement rings, and now I'm selling their kids engagement rings and anniversary gifts and birthday gifts. So it's pretty cool to see that family tree grow.
We're blessed with the relationships we've built over the years. Our non-commissioned sales associates are experts. They have only one goal: your complete satisfaction.
We have a 6,000 square foot showroom with anything and everything that you could possibly want. Beards Diamonds has been family owned and locally operated since 1981.
It's still our goal to offer the largest selection of quality diamond jewelry at the best prices in Jacksonville, guaranteed. The reason we can make that promise? As Beards owners, we are on the floor helping you with your purchase. We have no corporate bosses setting the price. The chain stores can't touch our prices. They just can't.
Check out our full inventory at beardsdiamonds.com, including the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds and lab-grown diamonds. Come in and see us. We'd love to help you. Anybody that steps foot in our store is automatically part of the Beards family.
Beards Diamonds in the St. John's Town Center.
You're invited to shop at Eartha's Farm and Market every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're a market of fresh and affordable farm-to-table produce that comes from our 10.5-acre urban farm, 4850 Moncrief Road. Join us for volunteering, classes, and farming demonstrations. Interested in becoming a vendor or volunteer? Call 904-354-4162 or visit our Eartha's Farm and Market Eventbrite page. Eartha's Farm and Market wants to be your favorite produce market. This initiative benefits the Clara White mission.
Hypertrophic cardiomyopathy is a serious heart condition. Some symptoms include being short of breath, feeling tired, or having dizziness or chest pain. My HCM impacted how I felt and what I could do. So I asked my cardiologist about treatment advances that gave me new options. That conversation was big for me. That's why I'm working with Bristol-Myers Squibb to raise awareness about HCM and to help others like me. Talk to your cardiologist today and visit hcmrealtalk.com to learn more.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb.
Mom, meet Sarah.
From first-time Nana moments.
Yeah, welcome to Flight 101.
To annual girls trip moments. Your can't-miss moments are worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com.
So where should we go next?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm Mark Anajar.
I'm Glenn Levine.
I'm Ellie Anajar.
And we're Anajar and Levine. Experience the Anajar and Levine difference by calling us with
any of your legal needs. Call 1-800-747-FREE for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
Main office, Jacksonville.
Got water problems? Call your plumber and ask about Safety Zone water systems. The best plumbers use Safety Zone water systems. Safety Zone water systems are top quality equipment that provide the best water and save money too. Safety Zone water systems.
Howard works from home.
Hello. Where's that proposal? Yes, Mr. Clark. I'll have that proposal ready ASAP.
But home is not working for Howard.
What is going on? I'm having Wi-Fi issues. Call you back.
Good thing Community First offers mortgages with no closing costs that can save you thousands, so people like Howard can get a new home complete with a new home office. Visit communityfirstfl.org to learn more today. Equal housing opportunity. Member NCUA.
You're invited to shop at Eartha's Farm and Market every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're a market of fresh and affordable farm-to-table produce that comes from our 10.5-acre urban farm, 4850 Moncrief Road. Join us for volunteering, classes, and farming demonstrations. Interested in becoming a vendor or volunteer? Call 904-354-4162 or visit our Eartha's Farm and Market Eventbrite page. Eartha's Farm and Market wants to be your favorite produce market. This initiative benefits the Clara White mission.
When a child gets a diagnosis of cancer, wraparound care is vital. That's why the Child Cancer Fund is proud to announce the Child Cancer Fund Psychosocial Services Endowment in partnership with the Moores Children's Health. This provides music, animal-assisted therapy, psychology, educational services to local kids fighting cancer. It's a holistic approach that has a lifelong impact on the children we serve in our community. To make a donation and support these families, become a monthly donor at childcancerfund.org. That's childcancerfund.org.
ESPN.com is your home for all things ESPN 690. Find shows, podcasts, Florida State Seminoles football, contests, and more at ESPN690.com. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Shout out to the winged one, Quack Quack. Ducky Bets joining us last segment. Man's a lot of fun to talk to. You can find all his work on Patreon. You know how we found Ducky?
No.
Basically, he was like the only guy in the country that was making significant money doing kicker props.
Oh.
Kicker prop betting.
That's a niche.
And then one weekend, he takes Daniel Carlson to, I think it was like a +2.5, which is rare with kicker props.
Okay.
People down here know Daniel is the SEC all-time leader in points. Anyway, ESPN catches on. It turns out Duck's suggestion on Twitter literally moved the Vegas line on Carlson. And so ESPN took notice. They were like, who is this weird guy?
So did Vegas.
Yeah.
They had people outside his house.
And I reached out. I was like, hey, you suffer from Jets-induced depression as well.
Maybe, yeah, you guys do share that. That's right.
Maybe we should get together and commiserate a little bit.
Whoa.
Ducky B. You don't like the word commiserate?
Nah, I got it mixed up with another word. I can't think of it right now, though.
You don't even know what word you got it mixed up with?
What happens when two people get married and then they...
Oh, you're talking about when they get intimate with each other.
Yeah, but what is it? That's not commissary.
It's not conjugate.
No, not a conjugate.
They consummate.
Consummate. Not to be confused with... What's the Mexican soup? Like Christmas soup? Consomme. Oh, no. With birria tacos, I think that's consomme.
Never heard of her.
Yeah.
Don't know what that
is. But consummate, that's
consummate
what you and Ducky
is
were
to
doing.
make a marriage or a relationship complete by having stuff to do with each other.
Not to be confused with commiserate.
Commiserate.
Commiserate,
which
not
is,
commiserate.
Commiserate is like two people coming together to like be sad together, I think. Express or feel sympathy or pity. Sympathize.
So in order to stop commiserating, you might have to consummate.
It's more like a Z than an S. Commiserate.
You get what I'm saying.
I'm trying.
With you're making consummate.
You're making it tough on me.
Okay. It's the English language.
It's not a silent T. It's consummate.
That's what I said.
There will be a test at the end of the show.
I don't know.
But before we get to the end of the show, Brian, I do want to bring something to you. I've been very excited about this today.
You have?
Yeah. Especially because we have a new piece of production for it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Aaron Schachter Show. I would like to present to you the Hell to the Naw story of the day. Come on.
Hell no, to the no, no, no.
Yeah, to the no. Yeah, to the no. To the no. Listen.
All right. You can bring this bad boy down a little bit. You know, normally, Brian, I bring you a story that's a little bit gross. I bring you a story that might make people a little bit queasy if they're having food while listening to the Aaron Schachter Show.
Okay.
One time I brought you a story about someone who was popping the heads off of squirrels.
All right.
Psychopath. I'm not even sure they handled that. That dude may still be out there. I brought you a story about a eel who was imprisoned in a man's body.
Good for him.
And that the doctors had to go in there to get the eel out and then murder it. I brought you a story about a former NFL player who was on a flight who had taken some of that sports freak narcotics.
All right.
And then ended up going to the bathroom on somebody on the plane.
That was recent.
That was recent.
Matter of fact, just in case I didn't play it enough when you did that story, yeah.
No, this story is not gross, but it's absolutely an hell nah story of the day.
Okay.
Brian, I would love for you to pull this bed down
so
I can get to the actual news story if you don't mind. And then you can pull my hotkeys back up so we can get on with the business.
Story time is often a favorite for children, but on Friday at Forest Lake Elementary School, things took a turn.
All right, Brian. Story, often a favorite time at the elementary school. We're talking about like 5 or 6-year-olds, not like 10-year-olds, right?
Sounds good.
Until it took a turn. What do you think happened, Brian? What do you think inspired me to bring the hell nah story of the day?
Could be a weapon, could be weed.
Oh, drugs.
I'm guessing weapon or drugs.
Or both.
I don't want to think anything more nefarious.
Is it possible the teacher used the weed as a weapon?
No, I was thinking the kids did, but okay.
Okay,
We'll
maybe
go
it's
with
the
yours.
kids. Okay,
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
find out what happened.
According to the affidavit, 59-year-old Vilma Otero was in class when the paraeducator assigned to her classroom heard a child scream and cry.
All right, so now they're screaming and crying coming from the classroom. People get curious. What's going on in there? They open the door.
When she turned around, Otero allegedly had a 3-year-old autistic child, quote, between her legs being held down in a chokehold manner.
A chokehold with the legs from the teacher on the special needs kid.
Okay.
And we're not talking like a 10 or a 12-year-old.
No, you said how old? 3?
I mean, I think the kid was 5 or 6.
Oh, okay.
5 or 6 years old. That is not the kind of care I'm expecting when I drop my kid off
No, not at all.
at the kids' school, at the elementary school, I guess, for kindergarten.
Yeah.
No, not what I'm expecting.
At all.
The paraeducator says the child was turning red. He was screaming and crying while trying to free himself from her legs.
Nah, she's too strong, Brian. She's had a little too much training for that teacher. A little too much training. Couldn't get free.
36 years, and she told deputies she had undergone training to deal with children with...
Who trained that lady? John Jones?
Martial artist of some sort.
Dana
yeah.
White? Is she training with Royce Gracie on how to teach children? Little Brazilian jiu-jitsu?
Maybe Rhea Ripley.
with special needs, and common practice was to remove them from the classroom until they calmed down.
Well, she tried to remove them with that thigh hold. It just didn't work for her.
Is that the move officially?
I'm assuming that's what she went to.
Thigh hold.
She could have gone to an arm bar. She could have done like a hip toss.
Could have.
She went to the thigh choke.
Sometimes it can be overwhelming. So DJ Lebo with the Early Coalition of Flagler and Volusia says they have a warm line and anyone can call for support.
Warm line.
Yeah, teacher calls up, is like, hey, I just did the leg choke headlock on the kid. He's still not listening to me. What other moves can I do? I need some support.
Not an emergency, so not a hotline.
It's a warm line.
It's urgent.
I mean,
but not
slightly urgent,
emergency.
But it's like in-fight urgency.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
It's like, I need a cut man.
If I don't make this call and I let it sit, I'm calling the hotline. I got you.
If there's a real problem, you're calling the hotline.
Yeah.
I mean, if you get to class and you got the rowdy kids and then, you hear that thing, then I got to get to the warm line. I need some assistance here.
You're telling me, and maybe I'm misunderstanding, you just went UFC 387 on a 2-year-old, but that's warm line. Or is this prior to her?
It depends. If it's an emergency, Brian, you call the hotline.
Okay.
But if you hear this.
Okay.
And then, you try and throw some of these.
Oh, boy.
And you still need some support. Well, this is a tiny kid. Someone's got to try.
I got you.
But you need some support. You call the warm line, not the hotline.
Story time and common practice was to remove them from the classroom until they calm down. Sometimes it can be overwhelming. So DJ Lebo with the Early Coalition of Flagler and Volusia says they have a warm line and anyone can call for support.
Families can call, teachers can call.
Oh, both sides.
Gotcha.
It's like, listen, little Tommy got his butt kicked by the teacher today. We need some support.
Some warm support, though.
We need some cross-training or something. You got to teach her. She knows Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You got to teach my kid how to wrestle or become a striker. You got to be fair.
Whenever they're struggling.
Yeah. You want to join in, put your job at risk? Go ahead.
I was going to say, if both entities call the warm line, it's probably a hotline situation.
You think so?
If both are saying, you know what, feels very warm.
Yeah, if anyone receives a busy signal on the warm line, chances are it's more of an emergency than you think.
Okay.
Yeah.
With how to handle a behavior or how to handle a unique situation.
As for the child, deputies say he had some slight redness around his neck.
I mean, listen. If all the kid ends up with is slight redness around the neck, teacher needs to go back to the gym. Needs to go back to the gym. It's not effective. The move she's doing is not effective.
Oh, man.
Nope.
The kid says, I'm going to end with some slight redness around the neck and a lot of green in a bank account.
In the pocket.
Oh, boy.
Because he has autism, when deputies spoke with him, all he was able to communicate was that he got in trouble at school and Otero hurt him.
Wow.
Otero was arrested on Saturday and has since been released. Reporting in Deltona.
How does this happen where you go through training as an adult?
Yeah.
She was literally trained by people on how to teach children with autism.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a lot of that has to do with patience.
It does.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times you just want to speak to a child the way you normally would speak to a child. But when you have a special needs child, an IDD child, or a child with autism, that kind of talk doesn't work. You can't just yell at the kid at that point. You can't put him in a chokehold. You should have seen the picture, Brian.
Oh.
I had the picture. Someone took a picture of this lady. This lady felt so comfortable in this classroom with story time that she was just sitting there with the book in her hands, showing it to the kids, circle time. The little autistic kid with his head between her legs because she's holding him still by the head. And then some other teachers across the room snapping pictures. That's not part of the training. That is not part of the training.
Oh, boy.
Pamela Combe, West 2 News.
In a statement, a district spokesperson says, quote, Volusia County Schools.
The district spokesperson was like, she's going to get fired. Like, what's the statement?
We made the check payable, too.
Yeah, exactly.
We Venmo'd and Cash App'd the family.
It's whatever you guys are thinking, we're thinking it, too. Thank you. And you just walk off.
Is committed to the safety and well-being of all of our students and is taking the situation very seriously.
I mean, it doesn't seem like they're committed to the safety. Not only did the chokehold happen, you got another teacher doing photo time. Photo ops. How about making a call to that hotline or warm line? We have a dang teacher putting a figure 4 headlock on a kid.
Yeah.
Such, our professional standards department is currently conducting a thorough investigation.
Not much to the investigation. I saw the picture. What could have been like the possible reason? Doesn't exist. Look at you. You're without words.
I mean, I'm trying to process it in real time. Yeah.
Good luck.
Determine the appropriate next steps. The teacher.
How about firing the teacher? How about that?
Is currently on administrative leave, unquote.
Administrative leave. Sounds like a penalty, or not. Like, that's obviously this person's going to lose their job. They're probably going to get sued. And then you think about the jobs that she's trying to get from now on. She's going to have to change that name. You're coming up in every Google search, no matter where you're applying to Taco Bell, you're applying to wherever, and you're still coming up in a Google search. You apply to be a factory worker. Someone's going to Google your name.
Mm-hmm. Let me go on this Indeed.
Let me check this resume. What?
Let me just search Facebook just randomly.
Yeah. Man,
Yeah.
what goes through a person's head?
Aaron.
That's why when I saw that, I was like, hell no.
To the no.
To the no.
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 Yeah.
Hell to the no.
Yeah, okay.
Just say, can't be doing that.
That's hey, Aaron, I tell you what, man. If you didn't want to do this, you could walk right over there to Action News Jax.
And do what?
And be lead reporter. You'd be you and Ben Becker, the I-team.
The keyboard wrecker?
The investigators.
They don't even let that guy out the building anymore. They make him sit at a desk now.
Well, he's accumulating more power. I
Oh.
don't have to go out with the regular people anymore. I sit here and I narrate. You know what I mean? I tell you, you trust me so much that I'm going to sit down here and talk to you for 2.5 hour blocks. You know? So, I like that. Aspire to that. But I'm saying you could go over there right the way you find these stories, Aaron, because I would have never known about Vilma Otero.
I like that you know her name.
I looked it up.
All right. You're really moved by this story.
It's hard, it's a hard one to kind of figure out.
As long as you know who the bad guy is, Brian. I don't know these days. Sometimes you'd be scanning over articles too quick. Just reading headlines and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want you to do that.
That's fair.
You got to dig in. You got to realize why it's all hell no.
I will say this much, though. I didn't play the hotkey, but it should have been just one long hotkey. The man, hell no. Man, hell no. Like, just one long hotkey of that. That's why I didn't play it. I was just like, there's no way this story can get worse. You know those kind of stories?
Ooh, that feels like a challenge.
And it just kept going and kept going and kept going. So, I know. Okay.
Yeah, it sounds like you want me to stick to the gross stuff from now on.
No. I think that this is however you want to do this segment, it works.
I'm not trying to make you sad.
Oh, I'm not sad, but we are on a Friday before a holiday, so you got like a minute and a half to figure out how to.
This is how to really pull it out. You're not wrong. I didn't even think about that. I'm sending everybody off feeling gross.
You like doing that though, Aaron. You've done this at the end of shows before, and I'm just like, all right. Give me a rundown on what this story is going to be next. Oh, okay, here's a happy part. Is that a Christmas shirt? Because I appreciate the fact.
This is not a Christmas shirt.
Oh, I thought I saw snow. That's stars?
Those are stars.
Is that a reindeer? What is that?
It is Dwight Schrute from The Office. You ever watch The Office?
Okay, never mind. I've lost interest.
Oh, okay. It's a great show, Brian.
It is a good show. I do know it's a good show.
How do you know if you've never seen it?
Well, I trust enough people who don't like guffaw over Seinfeld, who like Office, who like The Office.
That's me. I don't guffaw over Seinfeld, and I like The Office.
Oh, good for us. Good for us.
Yeah, my shirt is Dwight Schrute holding up a beet, wearing a bear costume on a Battlestar Galactica spaceship.
From here, it looks like a reindeer with Santa. And like, it's almost like is that a face? I don't know. What's the big white thing?
Yeah, it's his face.
Yeah, it almost looks like a beard.
You don't recognize snow bunnies on T-shirts, huh? Speaking of that, I didn't even bring this to the show, Brian. Before we leave,
what are we doing with
you know what I heard?
Yeah.
I heard a podcast where someone called, it was Marshawn Lynch, called Christian McCaffrey Snow Bunny Pearl. Snow Bunny Pearl.
I don't know what that even means.
We did that. Obviously, Marshawn Lynch listens to the show.
You want to tell Marshawn that he's stealing from us?
Sure. What I got to be scared of? Just hand him some Skittles. He likes Skittles.
He does like Skittles.
It's in the rain. Taste the rainbow. Guys, it's been a weird end to the show. I don't know why you did that.
Yeah, I was.
Brian, maybe next time you do that, you do a little bit different kind of a story.
Be better.
Be better.
You were great for 95% of this show.
Me?
And then for about 75% of that, I was waiting for the punchline. There was no punchline.
No punchline.
It just got worse and worse. Because I was like, oh, this is good. How's Aaron gonna?
Nope.
You made fun of the dead apes. You made fun of them.
I didn't make fun of them.
Nah, you did. Go back to hour one
what are you talking about?
of the Aaron Schachter show around 3:47.
You asked me if visiting the dead apes at the Jack Zoo were dead or alive, and I said, well, visiting them is dead because the apes are dead.
Nah, you said, I don't know all the things that are dead, but one thing I do know that's dead. Huh? Them apes ain't here no more. And I was like, yo, that's messed up. But I did it,
messed up.
I did.
You shouldn't put apes in cages, and we shouldn't put children in leg chokeholds.
That's what I've learned this week.
Those are the lessons from the Aaron Schachter show.
That's a promo.
Please don't make it a promo. Hey, Hey, we'll be back on Wednesday. Monday's a holiday. Tuesday, I've got important corporate business meetings. Wednesday of next week, it is a Jaguars football game week on the Aaron Schachter Show and ESPN 690.
Bueller Aaron Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's challenger, an asphalt marketer from Jacksonville, Florida. Meet Sheldon Fish. Today's category, air conditioner repair experts in Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, I bet it's going to be Bueller.
Your question. Unlike Jacksonville, the Sahara Desert has a complete lack of air conditioner repair experts. What kind of camels do they ride?
That's not really a question about air conditioner repair.
5 seconds.
But that's a camel question.
Pick a camel, Sheldon.
Arabian dromedary.
That's right, Sheldon. Like the majestic Arabian dromedary, the skilled technicians at Bueller Aaron Plumbing can repair any make and model of air conditioner the same day you call, making sure you are cool.
They don't spit, do they?
No, but Steve, the new guy, has a bit of a hump.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Inc. magazine named DLP Capital as one of the Inc. 5,000 fastest growing private companies for a remarkable 12th consecutive year. DLP Capital is dedicated to building and financing thriving communities. The last 3 years drove 158% growth, earning DLP Capital the distinction of being the 12th fastest growing company in Jacksonville, one of Florida's biggest cities, and 69th among real estate companies. Log on to dlpcapital.com. That's dlpcapital.com to find out how you can invest.
This is the sound of turning small bets into legendary wins. Only on the Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook app. The sound of parlays, the sound of paydays, the sound of watching the game will never be the same. Hard Rock Bet has already paid out millions and millions in parlays to people across Florida. Download Hard Rock Bet now, and if your first bet doesn't win, get up to $100 back as a bonus bet. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to play. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text LION to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text LION to 42424. That's LION to 42424.
When you ask people here what's the one thing that makes Diamonds Direct their favorite jeweler, for some, it's the unbeatable pricing we get through our direct importer. No middleman connections. The foundation of our business since day one. For others, it's the uncompromising quality. From hand-selected diamonds to handcrafted designer rings. Only the best of the best. Some people put selection at the top of their list, as Diamonds Direct offers up to 30 times the options you expect from a typical jewelry retailer. For some, it's our luxurious showroom with diamond experts who genuinely care about your experience and happiness, and who are empowered to do whatever it takes for you. Others rave about Diamonds Direct's unmatched warranties and guarantees that include free service for life and an extraordinary 110% diamond upgrade promise. But you know the most often answer we get when asking what makes Diamonds Direct stand out? It's not one thing, it's everything. Diamonds Direct. Value, luxury, choices, and confidence. Get directions, hours, and more at diamondsdirect.com.
Attention men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry and receive a free hair and scalp examination and get 2 weeks of laser treatments for free. Call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Hairforme.com.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Studios, Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Doug Brown. According to the New Jersey State Police, the driver who hit and killed Columbus Blue Jackets winger Johnny Gaudreau and his brother Matthew is now in jail until his first court appearance next Thursday. The Gaudreau brothers were in New Jersey to be groomsmen for their sister Katie's wedding, which was planned for today. College football tonight in Norman, Oklahoma, where the 16th-ranked Sooners host Temple. 7 Eastern for that one on ESPN. Tomorrow night, 5th-ranked Alabama hosts Western Kentucky. And our Desmond Howard says the Tide could struggle in the SEC this year under new head coach Kalen DeBoer.
I think it's going to wear on his team initially. They'll get used to things 2 or 3 years down the road, but this year will not be the year. Alabama will not be in the college football playoff. They'll be 13 or 14 or 15 on the outside looking in.
Desmond Howard, Alabama and Western Kentucky tomorrow night at 7 Eastern on ESPN. North Carolina quarterback Max Johnson will miss the rest of the season after surgery on a broken right leg. He got hurt Thursday night against Minnesota.
Hey, it's Courtney Cronin. Coming up on Monday on Unsportsmanlike. Week 1 of the NFL season is upon us, but which team still has the biggest question marks before they kick off? It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
From Studio 2 at the worldwide headquarters of ESPN and the HD studio in Atlanta.
Now, your chance to win $1,000 as ESPN 690 wants to pay your bills. Sponsored by Arlington Toyota.
Go to ESPN690.com now. Look for the ESPN Pays Your Bills contest. Enter the keyword WINNER. That's WINNER by 1/2 for your chance to win $1,000.
Your next chance to win $1,000 and have ESPN 690 pay your bills happens Monday morning at 8 a.m. This is a nationwide contest. Message and data rates apply.
I'm Steph Dale, owner of Go Tuckin', a tour and private transportation company, and an Athena PowerLink mentee with the Jacksonville Women Business Center. The support of my volunteer advisory panel is invaluable, and I'm most thankful for their guidance. JWBC has provided me with education, resources, and meaningful relationships to be more successful in growing my business in North Florida, and I'm honored to be involved. For more information, visit jaxwbc.com.
Are you new to Jacksonville or just looking for the best care for your pet? Forever Vets will give you peace of mind knowing your pet is being treated like family. Whether it's yearly checkups, urgent care, or boarding at one of our premier pet resorts, your fur baby will always receive the best care from our skilled and compassionate staff at Forever Vet. With multiple locations around Jacksonville, it won't be too hard to find one near you. Go to forevervets.com to find a location, as well as a list of services offered, including a wellness plan, so your fur baby is always covered. Visit forevervets.com today.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Lowe's knows saving pros time and money means getting the job done easier. Right now, save 10% on Georgia Pacific vinyl siding panels. Plus, save an additional 20% when you buy in bulk. And get free same-day delivery to the job site when you order by 2 p.m. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Offer valid through 9/4. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Differently, and we put different types of pressure on you when you're a quarterback in the NFL.
I think that pressure is justified. If you are going to take up 10, 15, 20% of the team's salary cap, then you have to be that rising tide that lifts all boats. For Peyton Manning and for Tom Brady, they could take up that much of the salary cap because they made mediocre wide receiver cores better. They made okay average offensive lines good enough to win championships with. Some of these other quarterbacks we're mentioning, they don't have that level of play. So they have benefited from the salary structure that allows these guys to get paid, but they don't provide the same benefit to the football team that we think of when we think of these true franchise quarterbacks of the past. So, yeah, okay, Joe Burrow, Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence, Tua, those are the 4 highest paid quarterbacks in the league right now from a per year average. Those 4 guys. There's not a championship among them. In college, yes, but not in the NFL. So the expectation should be high when you get paid that kind of money as a quarterback because you have taken away the possible pool of money that we can go out and build the rest of our football team with.
And I think for all those players, there's certainly nuance and context to these conversations, right? With Joe Burrow, national championship on the college level, already got his team to a Super Bowl. It's been a lot about injury for him, right? Why he hasn't gotten the rest of it accomplished.
Your best ability is your availability.
No question. And like Tua has not performed in a playoff game ever. It's never happened. And like Jordan Love, certainly that was an impressive showing against Dallas last year, but then looked like a very young, rookie-ish first-year type of starter in a bad conditions in San Francisco. Made a couple of really bad decisions in that game. So there's a lot of proving it left to do for a lot of these guys. And Jalen Hurts, been to a Super Bowl. Still, people, when you get a $200+ million contract, people are going to continue to put more pressure on you, even if you've already done it. And, he got his team to the Super Bowl, and they were in that game late. He could have won that game.
Yeah, but it's if you fall short, you fall short. There's only one team happy at the end of the year, the team that's hoisting the Lombardi Trophy. All of the 31 teams are unhappy, dissatisfied, and vowing to get to that spot next year. And so we as a fan base, we as media people, we look at the quarterback, the face of the franchise, the most highly paid player on that team in most circumstances, as the person who has the greatest responsibility and the greatest impact on this pursuit of a Super Bowl. And when you fall short of that and you have a $250 million contract, I think it's okay to point the finger at you and say, you got to do better, man. Yep. I expect more from you.
I totally agree. I think it's completely fair that once you get the paycheck, that more is expected of you, and that's where I think Packers fans just assume Jordan Love is going to build on last year, and I don't know if that's a foregone conclusion. I think the rest of the team should be better around him, but he was literally the hottest quarterback in the league for about 8 weeks, and to expect that, I think Packers fans need to maybe temper those expectations. The reason they're going to win maybe might be defense and growth around him, still a very young team. With Tua, you got to go in the playoffs and win a game in the postseason. You like, especially when the coach has also been paid, and you guys are making a lot of headlines just in general, right? You look at the Dolphins; they're constantly in the news all the time. So the question with Dak Prescott becomes also a player in a very different stage of his career, right? Like this is a guy who's been around a very long time, and he's been a very productive, very good quarterback. Not when it counts. Not in the postseason. And it's not all on him, of course, but not in the postseason. The Cowboys' defense had a big problem last year against the Packers. The question is sort of what else does he need to show? What else does he need to prove? Jerry Jones, of course, never shy about his feelings. Cowboys owner had some thoughts on what Dak Prescott needs to prove.
Well, you could easily say if you hadn't seen it by now, you haven't seen it. And so I'm such a fan of Dak's, and appreciate all of the great things that we all know that he's there. And I appreciate his work ethic probably more than anything out here. And I can't tell you how proud I am that we've got him this year to start this campaign. Needing to see, I just gave an explanation of where when you look at a situation, you've also got to weigh, okay, what are the consequences of the other side of the coin? And so Dak's situation right now, for me, from my mirror, has more to do with our situation than it does with the merits of Dak Prescott being quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
That was Jerry Jones. I'm going to need a translator for that. So let's go to the quarterback here, Dak Prescott, to translate everything we just heard from Jerry Jones.
How do you feel about Jerry said the negotiation isn't about your merit as the Cowboys quarterback, but more about their cap situation? What do you take from that when he says, it's not really about what you're doing?
Yeah, I understand that. That's the business and the nature of this game that we play. I stopped, honestly, listening to things that he says to the media a long time ago. So it doesn't really hold weight with me.
That's an excellent response by Dak Prescott there. Chad, first of all, Jera is always saying something, and he always feels like he's got, there's 3 layers to what he's saying, right? It always feels like it. So one of these discussion points is, can you win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott? I think that's a ridiculous conversation.
Really?
I think you can absolutely win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott.
Has he showed that he can be a Super Bowl winning quarterback to you?
I think that if he played for the Rams or if he played for the Eagles or if he had the offensive line for this team or the coaching staff of that team, I think Dak Prescott is talented enough and good enough to win a Super Bowl. Yes.
Okay, Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl. So, that standard is low if that's the question. To lead a team to a Super Bowl is the more accurate question that I think most fans want to know. That's the more to lead a team. Are you such a good player that you can make up for deficiencies around the rest of the roster and lead a team? Not just be a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Brad Johnson's done this. Trent Dilfer's done this. There's been other quarterbacks who were less than true franchise quality quarterbacks who have won a Super Bowl. But when we think about a true quarterback, a Super Bowl winning quarterback, who comes to mind? Guys like Tom Brady, who overcome deficiencies, who lead a team, who lead the organization in work ethic and passion and desire and create a great example and all those things that we expect of these guys.
How many of those players exist in the world right now? Is it 5 guys in the world? Is it like Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen? How many of those guys in your mind exist that can overcome everything and win a championship?
There's probably 3, maybe 4. You are right.
So I would probably agree with you on that. And let's say Dak's clearly not one of them. That being said, you can still go win championships with a bunch of the other guys because Matt Stafford has a ring. Nick Foles has a ring. It's not just the Brad Johnson, Trent Dilfer group, right? There's also another group that's done it. And so ultimately, what is it that Jerry's talking about here? What is it that Jerry wants to see? I could point fingers at other things. I would say the coach is a bigger concern than the quarterback for me right now for the Dallas Cowboys. So what is it that Jerry's doing here?
Well, I guess he's in that soundbite. He talked about that they don't have their stuff together, which is fascinating because
it's his job, right?
From a GM perspective, you would think you would have something on the wall of your GM office that indicates when each player's contract is up, all the salary cap ramifications of that, who do we want to re-sign, who we don't want to re-sign. I've been in GM's offices. They've got those boards with the magnetized wall, and they got the little placards they put up for each player, and it has all the little notes on it. This is how a real GM does things. So to act as if somehow the situation just crept up on the Cowboys and we don't even know how we got here, but he's good enough. We're just working on our stuff. It's a ridiculous notion on its face. So, Jerry Jones has continued to put his foot in his mouth this entire offseason. Yeah. They're all in. You wait until the last possible minute to get CeeDee Lamb done. You're kicking this can down the road with this Dak Prescott deal. The money's only going to get bigger. There's only going to be more money demanded, not less. You're not going to get him on the bargain. There's not going to be a sudden sale coming up from Dak Prescott and his agent. It's not going to work that way. So this management style of Jerry Jones, I think it affects the Super Bowl possibilities of the Cowboys.
Sometimes I'm so confused by Jera. Sometimes I think he's got this mad scientist media strategy brain that he's got going on, right? He's telling you one thing, but he means another, and he wants it to be taken one way by the player and then another way by the fan, and he's always kind of playing this weird game of but then at the same time I'm always or he just doesn't know what's happening. Maybe there's a whole other angle to all of this, and maybe I'm just wrong. Either way, the pressure is on Dak Prescott in the short term. It's going to be on him long term to prove. I guess I personally don't think he needs to prove much to me. I think there are other elements of that Cowboys organization that I would put questions on first before I blame Dak Prescott, but that's just my personal opinion. Again, namely the coach. However, when you get paid, and Dak has been in the past, the pressure changes. It instantly changes. And Brock Purdy for the San Francisco 49ers is still getting the benefit of the doubt. He's still Mr. Irrelevant. He's still the guy who's super cheap on the books. He's still the guy that is not viewed the same way as all these other names we've talked about. Chad, you look at Jordan Love, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes. Look at these guys; they're viewed with a certain amount of pressure. Brock Purdy doesn't have that right now. The 49ers got the deal done with Brandon Ayuk, 4-year, $120 million extension, $76 million guaranteed. He's the 5th highest paid receiver in the NFL. For now, Brock Purdy doesn't have as much pressure. The game where they lose in the Super Bowl, it's not on him. It's coming, though. It's coming because the Niners, the getting over the hump thing with the Niners is just as big a deal right now as it is with the Cowboys.
I'll pull out the line from Jerry Maguire. People don't understand the pressure that comes with a $54 million contract. We don't. But at the same time, when you get that contract, you inherit that pressure. That comes with it. The 49ers and Brock Purdy, that situation allows them to have Trent Williams, highest paid left tackle. George Kittle, one of the highest paid tight ends. Fred Warner, one of the highest paid inside linebackers. Bosa on the edge, one of the highest paid edge guys. The list is 2 wide receivers who are in the top 10 as far as highly paid. So that's what allows you to do that. So there's not pressure just on Brock Purdy. There's pressure on all those other guys. Well, when they start to pay Brock Purdy, they're going to have to get rid of some of those other guys. And then that pressure goes from being shared amongst the group to all being on Brock Purdy's shoulders because you demanded so much money, we are forced to get rid of those guys. Therefore, you have to fill that void as a quarterback and be that good that we can exist without Kittle or without Fred Warner or without Bosa because that's the expectations that come with this contract.
2 quick questions for you. One is sort of when you look at Brock Purdy and you talk about the pressure, we just got done talking about Dak Prescott. I think Dak Prescott is a more purely gifted and more talented player than Brock Purdy. I think the system with which Brock Purdy plays in and operates in with the supporting cast is spectacular. So one of the questions is Brock Purdy worth a $250 million contract? They may not have a choice because that may just be the cost of doing business, which it kind of is right now in the NFL. But number 2 is how worried are you about this Trent Williams situation? Is it something you're concerned about? Because the Purdy conversation is a longer-term conversation that you alluded to where they may have to move players. The Trent Williams conversation is we got to win now. We need to win right now. How worried are you about the Williams situation?
I'm pretty worried about that. When you have a tackle of that caliber and what that allows you to do from a protection scheme, from a play calling standpoint, is it opens things up. You don't have to shore up a deficiency over there. You don't have to hold George Kittle in. You don't have to keep Christian McCaffrey in the backfield to chip block. You can do other things with those guys. That's a critical component to what they do offensively. And if you're without him, not just 1 or 2 games, but for an extended period of time because he digs his heels in and continues his hold out because I think he's justified in his holding out process and his demands to be the highest paid tackle in the game and have some more guarantees on his contract, that San Francisco 49ers offense will look and operate differently. Kyle Shanahan will be forced to call plays differently. He'll be forced to structure plays differently if Trent Williams isn't on the field for them.
Here is that head coach, San Francisco 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan, his thoughts on the Trent Williams situation.
I'm optimistic that things will work out with Trent. I'm not sitting here knowing what day it'll be. I mean, we're getting close to playing a game, so my mind is completely on preparing for a game without those guys. But yeah, I feel when 2 sides want to get a deal done, and usually it happens.
So what's fascinating, Chad Brown, Braden Gall, in for the guys here on ESPN Radio, what's really fascinating to me is how my own brain views the Niners and the Cowboys. Because they're very similar situations here, right? 2 quarterbacks with the big contracts coming. You got 2 star receivers that were sort of a little disgruntled, and now, of course, they both got deals done right before the start of camp. You got Brandon Ayuk with the 4-year, $120 million deal, CeeDee Lamb with the deal late last week. Everybody's good to go. Both the organizations, you could say, are starting to put things in place to be stable and successful this year. But I just trust the Niners organization so much more to get the job done. And if they get Trent Williams figured out, I just trust that the Niners are going to have all the pieces in place to succeed more than I trust the Cowboys to do it. Maybe that's not fair, but it's how I view it.
But I think if you look at the Niners roster versus the Cowboys roster, Cowboys certainly have some star power. They don't have the same kind of star power at all these critical positions that the Niners do. And again, that is afforded by the rookie deal that Brock Purdy is still on. Let's not forget, while Dak Prescott is trying to get $60 million, he's currently making $40 million. So he's already taken up a pretty big chunk of the Cowboys cap, which would make this new deal maybe a little bit more easy to shoehorn in there versus Brock Purdy to go from
That's true.
What, a 4-year deal where he's barely making $1 million a year to now making $55 million a year. That's going to be a significant adjustment for the 49ers salary cap.
Do you think Brock Purdy is a $50 million quarterback?
I don't think most of these quarterbacks are $50 million quarterbacks. But if Brock Purdy is able to win a Super Bowl this year, that's what's coming. And it'll probably be more than that. Is he going to take the Tom Brady slightly less discount because he's just so focused and dedicated on winning? We shall see. But typically when you're the next guy up, you set the new record. So it's $55 million a year right now. Is Brock Purdy's agent going to ask for 60? We shall see.
Man, Brock Purdy, last player drafted, $275 million. Strange ring to it. Strange ring. But you look at how efficient he was last year, man. You look at those completion percentages as the season goes along. He goes from like 60 to 65 to 70. All of a sudden you're looking at the game log and you're like 82%, 81%, 79%. He was extremely efficient down the stretch. Now, I do believe, and I don't know what you think about this, but I think Brandon Ayuk is the thing that allows him to hit his ceiling. I think Ayuk is the piece of that offense that allows Brock Purdy to realize his fullest potential. Does that make sense? Like, a lot of great weapons, right? Trent Williams and Debo and Kittle and Juszczyk and, you know, McCaffrey. We can do the whole thing. I think Ayuk is the thing that brings them to the top of their ability, if that makes sense.
Well, he's that perfect piece for Kyle to get space for all those other guys. Now, you know, I know this is not on the rundown, but I want to put this out to you. Maybe we can discuss later in the show. If Patrick Mahomes is as good as we all say he is, and these other quarterbacks are at $55 million a year, how much is Patrick Mahomes worth? Is he worth $100 million to the Kansas City Chiefs a year?
He's underpaid. He's under $100 million a year. Underpaid.
He's that good.
Yeah, you might be onto something there. There's no question. Chad Brown, Braden Gall in for Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio. ESPN Radio presented by Progressive Insurance. They offer auto, home, and commercial auto insurance, plus a variety of business insurance options. Visit Progressive.com today. We know how hot Billy Napier's seat is in Gainesville for the University of Florida, but how important is this game for Mario Cristobal and the Hurricanes? That's next. It's Braden Gall and Chad Brown in for the guys on ESPN Radio.
Today on ESPN Daily, Ben Solak gives us our first taste of the NFL season by breaking down some hidden difference makers while also giving the coaches a rating of their own. That's ESPN Daily. Follow us and listen wherever you get good podcasts.
Whether you're tinkering in your garage or tackling big projects, if you know the value of working with your hands, you know Harbor Freight. And you can be confident knowing that at Harbor Freight, you can get quality tools at prices that work just as hard as you do. Because the only thing more satisfying than a job well done is a job well done, well under budget. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
It was the clues these victims left behind that led police to their killers.
How I Caught My Killer. The true crime phenomenon returns.
We lifted that floorboard up. Lo and behold, a trench.
With 10 all-new episodes.
Because of the screenshots he left behind, he was a hero.
It's like she was calling out to us from the grave.
I couldn't believe it.
We were shocked.
I see this. He just recorded his own murder.
We got a serial killer off the street.
How I Caught My Killer. Now streaming only on Hulu.
Now, the first alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly cloudy and warm for your Friday evening. There may be an isolated shower south of I-10 this evening. Most neighborhoods, though, will be dry. And then Saturday's partly sunny with, once again, isolated brief showers moving in from the ocean while it stays plenty hot. Have a great weekend. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Corey Sima.
In a city full of sound bites and spin, old stale takes, and the same old news, there is a show that dares to ask the tough questions. A show that cuts through the noise to reveal the truth.
It's the latest in wife, girlfriend, side chick news.
The Aaron Schachter Show. prepare to be challenged and entertained.
It is important for me to have you close the loop in Boo Boo Gate 2024.
For this is not just a show, it's an experience. With razor-sharp wit and fearless curiosity, Aaron Schachter takes on any topic at any time.
Hey, where on the rundown was the Geechee talk?
Brace yourself for shocking revelations and explosive debates.
I'm in my 40s now. It's all in the belly and the bosom.
Enlightened entertainment. From a new perspective, this is the Aaron Schachter Show.
Ow, looking at me, steamed up your glasses.
Monday through Fridays on ESPN 690.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Proud to offer a huge selection of both lab-grown and natural diamonds at the lowest prices guaranteed.
Bueller Air & Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's challenger, an asphalt marketer from Jacksonville, Florida, meet Sheldon Fish. Today's category, air conditioner repair experts in Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, I bet it's gonna be Bueller.
Your question. Unlike Jacksonville, the Sahara Desert has a complete lack of air conditioner repair experts. What kind of camels do they ride?
That's not really a question about air conditioner repair.
5 seconds.
But that's a camel question.
Pick a camel, Sheldon.
Arabian dromedary.
That's right, Sheldon. Like the majestic Arabian dromedary, the skilled technicians at Bueller Air & Plumbing can repair any make and model of air conditioner the same day you call, making sure you are cool.
They don't spit, do they?
No, but Steve, the new guy, has a bit of a hump.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Open your heart and home to help impact lives. There is no time like now to start your foster care journey. More foster homes are needed for teenagers. When teenagers enter foster care, often there are very few foster homes available, resulting in many teens across the nation living in youth shelters. We are National Youth Advocate Program, and we believe families belong together. When safety concerns arise and youth need a temporary family, we are committed to providing safe foster homes within their community. You can become a foster parent to provide a nurturing foster home to help support families until their child can return home. We provide extensive training, support services, and financial support when you become a foster parent with National Youth Advocate Program. Right now is the time to start your foster care licensure to help support a youth who needs you. Are you ready to open your heart and home to a young person? We will help you get started today when you visit fostercareinfo.org.
Whether you're tinkering in your garage or tackling big projects, if you know the value of working with your hands, you know Harbor Freight. And you can be confident knowing that at Harbor Freight, you can get quality tools at prices that work just as hard as you do. Because the only thing more satisfying than a job well done is a job well done, well under budget. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
A Gain Scent Bead story. Jim was at the laundromat when he heard his ear said Maraca, senor, but his nose said, hey, freshest scent ever. Following his nose, Jim found a man pouring a bottle of Gain Scent Beads into the washer. The scent, the freshness. Jim blurted, sir, your scent Maraca smell amazing. Actually, Jim, most noses call them Gain Scent Beads. Try Gain Scent Beads, way fresher than detergent alone.
Pouring in after the deaths of Columbus Blue Jackets winger Johnny Gaudreau and his brother Matthew. They were riding bicycles Thursday when they were struck and killed in New Jersey. The driver is now under arrest and facing multiple charges. Johnny Gaudreau was 31 years old. Matthew was 29. The CeeDee Lamb deal is done for the Cowboys, but not so for Dak Prescott. ESPN's Jordan Ronan says the decision is still the same for Prescott.
The open market, is right. He'll be the number one big quarterback in football, but then maybe take a little less and have a better chance to win. Stay in Dallas, stay in Texas where you have no state income tax, stay with the Dallas Cowboys where there is a huge benefit of being on the Dallas Cowboys, and maybe give yourself the best chance to win. Jordan Ronan on Game Night. ESPN's Jeff Darlington reports the Dolphins will sign head coach Mike McDaniel to a 3-year contract extension that runs through the 2028 season. Baseball today, first of 2 in Cincinnati. The Brewers beat the Reds 5-4. The game-winning run coming in on a double play in the top of the 10th inning.
Here's one stat that's super simple to remember. Discover automatically doubles the cash back on your credit card at the end of your first year with Cash Back Match. With Discover, you could turn $150 cash back to $300. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
This is Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80, presented by Progressive Insurance. His name is Chad Brown. My name is Braden Gall, filling in for the guys. Honored to be here on this Football Friday. Joining us on the show, Jonathan Zaslow, of course, from ESPN Radio. The Zaslow Show, college football tailgate tour, bringing fans closer to the excitement of college football every single weekend. The tour features Amber and Ian on the road on Friday nights and an immersive Saturday morning broadcast from prime tailgating locations like perhaps Gainesville, Florida, from a custom Airstream trailer starting Saturdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Zaz, are you currently sitting in an Airstream trailer?
I am not in the trailer right now, but I can tell you that when we are in the trailer tomorrow morning, it's going to be so immersive. I mean, you're going to be immersed in all kinds of college tailgate madness. You're not going to be able to handle all the immersiveness we give you.
Well, Zaz, when you hear the word Airstream, that brings certain images to mind. So break down, what does this college tailgate Airstream look like?
Oh, it's so cool, actually. All right, there's a trailer that is pulling, a truck that is pulling this trailer, which is a studio, around the country every single week and meeting us at all of the college tailgate tour stops. You know, this week, because we didn't go to Dublin, all right? It'd be very difficult to get the trailer to Dublin. That's overseas. So we didn't do last week. So we start tomorrow, it's in Gainesville, and it's almost like, if you could imagine a food truck where, like, the food truck opens up and you could see everything inside. Well, instead of, cooks and they're making you food, it's me and Amber Wilson and Rashad Jennings, and we're sitting there and we're doing the show. So you're going to be able to see us, you're going to be able to hear us, and we're right in the thick of things. A lot of foot traffic. I'm very excited about it.
Who is most qualified to drive said trailer, Amber, you, or Rashad?
No, not me, because I've never driven a real truck, a trailer. I think you have to be really strong to do that. You have to be able to really, be able to maneuver that wheel. And I know you guys, when you envision me, you think, wow, that's Zaslow. He's definitely so strong. I'm not as strong as you think, so it would not be me. I would not be able to do it. Rashad, I mean, come on, NFL running back, Dances with the Stars champion. I'm sure he can drive it. And also Amber Wilson, who is super, super pregnant right now. You got to be really strong, all right, if you can go through pregnancy. So I think I am the least qualified to be driving that truck.
All right, Zaz.
Tough but fair. Tough but fair.
Yes. Appreciate the breakdown of the trailer driving difficulties and the breakdown of the Airstream. Let's take it to the football field. What are your expectations for Gators at Miami?
I think it's going to be a great game. It's going to be a great game because it's a huge rivalry, and it's one of those huge rivalries where the teams don't play very often. They used to play all the time back in the 80s, but then they stopped scheduling each other, and only once in a while do they wind up playing each other. So this is one of those years. Both schools, both fan bases absolutely hate the other. The Hurricane fan will tell you they hate the Gators more than any other team. The Gator fan probably has FSU ahead of Miami, probably has Georgia ahead of Miami, maybe even Tennessee ahead of Miami. But it's a huge rivalry, and it's two very desperate teams. Cristobal desperately needs a win in the worst way on the road against a rival. Billy Napier, he desperately needs a win. It's obviously a home game for them, but against a ranked team. The Gators have not lost a home game to start the season in like 1,000 years, all right? And these are both embattled coaches, so it's two desperate programs that are trying to get the season started off on the right track.
Jonathan Zaslow joining us here, ESPN radio host, of course. He'll be down there on the college football tailgate tour in Gainesville starting tomorrow at 10 a.m. on ESPN radio. I'm curious, like on paper, Miami has an elite offensive line, an elite running game, a great quarterback. Their roster is probably more complete than Florida's. On paper, they are the better team. They're a slight favorite, though. What is it about, if you're making the case for Florida to pull the upset? Graham Mertz is a good starting point, but if you're making the case, why is it that Florida will overcome what you might consider a talent deficiency relative to their opponent?
Yeah, I think the only way Florida wins this game is if it's a low-scoring game, which it very well may be a low-scoring game. And if that's the case, you're looking at Miami, and obviously there's a lot of hype around Cam Ward, but it's Cam Ward's first game with this new offense, and we're talking about one of the louder environments in all of college football. So how is the Hurricanes offense going to be able to operate when we're talking about this kind of atmosphere? I do not believe that Florida is able to go toe-to-toe offensively and win a shootout. So I think the Gators have the best chance of winning this game if they keep it low-scoring.
All right, this is more of a thought kind of process question here. Help us college football fans set our proper expectations in this new era of college football. We've got conference realignment. We've got quarterbacks transferring from school to school. We've got coaching changes. We've got all this stuff happening around college football, yet we still got this opening game. How do we set our expectations with all this unknown going around?
Well, I think, I'm as excited as I've ever been for the start. Well, I guess it started last week, but I'm as excited as I've ever been for college football this year. And everyone else seems to be echoing the same sentiment, that there's this excitement level going into this year that you haven't felt in previous years, maybe even ever. And obviously the explanation is because the 12-team college football playoff, but also you have the teams that are in new conferences. So you got new matchups now. I mean, we're talking Texas and Oklahoma in the SEC. So you're talking about teams playing in conferences, new matchups you haven't seen before. But it's the college football playoff where, let's be honest, you can get to, if you're in like early October, or if your team suffers a big loss opening week of the season, week 1 tomorrow, your season could be ruined. I mean, take, for instance, Notre Dame in Texas tomorrow, even USC, LSU. One of those teams loses a couple of years ago, you feel like your season may be over. You're not going to be able to get into a 4-team playoff. Now, with a 12-team playoff, all right, it stinks if you lose the opening game against a good team, but you could still go out there. You can make the playoffs maybe with 2 losses on the year as an at-large bid. So it's just going to be so much more involved where you're going to get to October, and there's going to be so many more teams than in the past that have a chance to make the college football playoff. It's going to generate so much more interest. It's very exciting, guys.
I agree with you, Zaz. By the way, Florida has not lost a home opener since 1989, 34 consecutive
I told you,
home
1,000
openers.
years, Braden, 1,000 years. I told you.
Well, somebody's got to fact check you, dude. Like, no one else is going to do it, so I'll do it. 1,000 seemed a little high to me. I thought it was less than 1,000. Here's the question about in response to what you just said about the pressure. And, teams can lose twice. 10-2 teams are probably going to get into the playoff in most years, especially if you're in the SEC or the Big Ten. But I'm curious, does that change the way we evaluate coaches? Billy Napier on the hot seat, Mario Cristobal on the hot seat, potentially if they were to lose this game in sort of a weird way like he did last year with some issues there. Marcus Freeman needs to win a game in the SEC. They have not really crossed over that line. Lincoln Riley hasn't broken through at USC. Are we going to – James Franklin at Penn State is in a big battle tomorrow against West Virginia. Is that change and that shift in expectation, does it trickle down to the coaches and the way the fans view those coaches?
That's a good question. I think it's going to take a few years almost for college football fans, for media to kind of, recalibrate their thinking, because like you said, we're going to start evaluating these coaches. That's going to be one aspect of this that's new, or we're going to have to get used to not just evaluating coaches differently, but evaluating expectations for certain teams as well, because, you take all the big teams the expectation is, all right, national championship. Well, now because the 12-team college football playoff, it's harder to win the national championship because you're going to have to win 3, sometimes 4 games. It's harder to win the national championship, but it's easier to have a chance to win the national championship because it's easier to get into the tournament. So I think the way that we judge expectations for the team and also the way we judge coaches, I think we're going to have to kind of recalibrate our thinking, but I think that could take a few years for us to actually get used to that.
I tend to agree with you. Just for example, Dan Mullen, all 3 of his teams at Florida would have finished in the top 11 and made the playoff. I don't know if it changes the decision that Florida would have made about Dan Mullen.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. I think it's going to take a few years, but, I mean, you can make the playoff now, especially an SEC team. You weren't making the playoffs before. I know it happened a couple times where you didn't win the SEC championship and you still made the playoff. But now it's going to happen all the time that you have SEC teams, especially probably Big Ten teams as well, that don't win their conference championship. Heck, probably don't even play in the conference championship game and still make the 12-team playoffs. So you would think that that's going to go a long way toward helping coaches keep their jobs long term.
We shall see. Jonathan Zaslow, ESPN Radio, thank you so much, man. We appreciate it.
Yes, make sure you tune in tonight. Amber and Ian on the road at 7 o'clock. We are on campus at UF tonight, and of course, tomorrow in the tailgate. I'm not driving it, guys. I will not be driving it.
That's good. That's good. Thanks, Zaz.
Thanks, Zaz.
College football tailgate tour, bringing fans closer to the excitement of college football every single weekend. The tour features Amber and Ian on the road on Friday nights and an immersive Saturday morning broadcast from prime tailgate locations, all in a custom Airstream trailer starting Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. The college football tailgate tour makes its first on-site appearance as they head to Gainesville. Amber Wilson, Jonathan Zaslow, and Rashad Jennings tomorrow morning. That's a huge game. That is a huge game. Playoff implications, coaching hot seat implications, in-state rivalry recruiting implications. It has all the storylines. And, of course, the college football tailgate tour will be there. So there you go. Special thanks. And we do appreciate Zaz for joining us. Chad Brown at Chad Brown94. You can get to me at Braden Gall. In for the guys, Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio. What's the biggest concern facing the Kansas City Chiefs and some of the other best teams in the AFC? That is next. It's Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio.
The football season never ends.
We ain't done yet.
Camp to camp.
When you go through the offseason that I've been through, you want to do it again.
Team to team.
When you knock us down, we're going to get up.
Unbelievable!
The Super Bowl is a goal.
I've been away for too long.
The countdown rolls on right here on ESPN Radio.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text AREA to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone-boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now, and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text AREA to 42424. That's AREA to 42424.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Meet Mike Lester.
Talent is not going to be the right choice for every single person out there, right? Because everybody is different. We do well when our clients do well. We're literally sitting on the same side of the table with them. We're in this together.
Yeah.
When you do well, I'll do well. Once we have that understanding, then we can come up with a plan that's designed to help you be successful in retirement.
Find out more at guardingyournestegg.com.
Advisory services through Talent Private Wealth and SEC registered investment advisor. Florida license D056341.
When I started in '98, it was a different mentality for first responders.
I've seen a lot of people struggle after retirement, still fighting the same demons that they had on the job.
The ability to reach out to a peer support program is huge.
I've done your job. I know the burden you carry. You've saved other people. Let us save you at this time.
It only takes a couple seconds to dial 3 numbers.
First responders, call 211.
or visit stayfitforduty.org.
If you want to know why Arlington, rent a